want is potato chips. Potato chips, how my mouth does dip. Potato chips, oh, drip, drip, drip. Crunch, crunch, I don't want no lunch. All I want is potato chips. Crunchy, crunchy, potato chips. Crunch, crunchy, crunchy. A crunch, crunch, crunch. I don't want no lunch. All I want is potato chips. Potato chips. Oh, those potato chips. Potato, potato, a chip, chip. Oh, crunch, crunch. Don't want no lunch. All I want is potato chips.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another Sovereign Citizen Sunday. It's me, Hannah, and my co-host, Lupine. Do you have anything to say to the people, Lupine? She's gonna be down here on my lap. You probably can't see her, but she's right here. Welcome everyone. I hope you're having a good weekend before the holidays. Let me see, is there anything? Nope. We're good. Fire Splitter, thank you for following. That was 4 hours ago, though, so I doubt you're here. But, Fickett Izzy with 100 bits. Today's queer rec is a game rec. Y'all should check out Calico by Whitehorn Games. It's a small indie publisher, and the game is a cute little cat cafe sim where you is a magical girl. The game does have a few bugs, being worked out, but is overall very good. The village around the cafe has canon, lesbian, non-binary, and genderqueer characters, and it's really cute. There's a Discord server where you can talk to the devs too. Check out Calico. Coolio. Is that on, did you say that's on Steam, or is it somewhere else? Either way, check it out. Lupine's putting her tail right in my face. Tell you to get off your ass and finish cleaning your rabbit's house. You should, because the bunnies have no control over that. So you should clean it for them. Yeah? You done, Lupine? No? I can't tell if she's trying to get off or not. Get off the chair. Okay, bye. Come back later. So anyway, today we're looking at all the Sovereign Citizen goodness that we're used to here on the channel. We have Marcel Bessette. Now, if you missed the last Sovereign Citizen Sunday, or Saturday, whatever it was, as long as it's alliterative, you know, that's typically the days that we do these on. This individual, Marcel Bessette, claims to be a judge. He's not a judge. He's a sovereign citizen up there in Canada. And the other day, we watched a video where he told... Well, let me just play the clip. Let me see if I can find the clip and just play it for you, because it's honestly one of the funniest Sovereign Citizen clips I think I've ever seen. Where the heck is it? Unless he deleted them. No, he didn't delete them. Okay, let's see if I can find it.
USA-based corporation. What's your name or your supervisor's name? You cannot not identify yourself. Then fuck you, bitch. We're coming for you. We're gonna come find out who you are through your work. I'm getting private investigators, and we're going after all of you. We're a real government, you fucking cunt, genocide piece of shit. You fucking feel me, you fucking bitch? This is all recorded. Lee, you're fucking done, bitch. I'm a judge. You're fucked.
So, we have a new video, new-ish, it's from earlier in the year, it's from like 6 months ago, but it's him talking about what is the definition of a society. So it's going to be him trying to explain what a society is, and presumably with that definition trying to explain why the law doesn't apply to him, so that'll be entertaining. Captain Rose, the 20-bit, says, steal the lose bag of milk now. I don't know what that means. I know some countries have bags of milk, like a bunch of psychos, but I don't know what that means. Hey, remember the guy that got pulled over in Mexico City and doesn't have a driver's license and tried to quote American law to the Mexican police? He made a video that's responding to comments on those videos, so we'll check those out. We got another guy who appears to trying... The theme of today, and not all the videos, but many of the videos, aren't necessarily going to be our typical sovereign citizen videos, where we're seeing interactions with the police or interactions with the court. Today, I wanted to take a little bit of a slower pace and see sovereign citizens just sort of sitting and talking to the camera about what they believe. That's sort of the theme tying today's videos together. So we're going to kind of dissect their beliefs and why they believe them and talk about why they don't actually hold up. We have another one with someone trying to explain their sovereign citizen belief system. This video is, are you a sovereign citizen, aka a human being, implying that every human is a sovereign citizen. And then the piece de resistance is this video that I'm so excited for. This is a video that I actually watched in its entirety the other day in my off time, because I do that. I don't know if you guys know that. I don't just do these on stream. I watch sovereign citizen videos and stuff, like when I'm just hanging out and playing video games or whatever, because I find them very interesting. This is a group of Moorish citizens, which is sort of an offshoot of sovereign citizens, even though they don't like to admit that. Talking about what the difference is between Moorish sovereignty and sovereign citizens. And this lady has just the coolest pyramid hat I've ever seen. And also, I'm going to show you guys, hold on, I gotta pull it up somewhere, but I gotta do it off camera. I'm gonna show you guys where you can buy your own pyramid hat. Hint, they're very expensive for basically no reason. It's a scam. It's very funny. So you can buy your own pyramidal headgear to protect you from stuff, I guess. They make one out of gold? You can get a Power Dome gold? Power Dome silver. Chrysillidome. I mean, I'm just saying, you can get one for yourself, you can get one for your baby. Okay? Don't you want your baby to have a pyramid hat to protect them from energy or something? Okay? I'm just saying. You guys aren't going to believe how expensive these are. They're absolutely ridiculous, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. Empty the tanks with 20 bits. LOL, in my house we had powdered skim milk. Now I'm all grown up and can drink real milk. Good for you. I'm glad you've graduated to non-dehydrated milk. And then Captain Rose with some bits. I'll powder you and sell you in a bag, Hannah. Oh, okay. I don't know who'd be a buyer of that, but if you want to sell my remains, I guess go for it. Is that consent? Is someone going to play this clip in court one day to prove that it's okay to sell my body? Maybe. And Lid with 20 bits off topic, but did you see the MyPillow guy tweeted that Trump should impose martial law and then deleted the tweet? I did see that. I did see that. I'm always concerned about the MyPillow guy. You know, back in 2015, I never thought I'd have to worry about the fascist dictatorship being installed in part by help of a pillow manufacturer, but life is stupid, so here we are. Can you put me in milk like Nesquik? I mean, if you want. I think I'll taste disgusting. If you remove all the water, I'm just mostly carbon. That's no good. You don't want carbony milk. Captain Rose with 20 bits. We'll have your corpses vaporized and have the vapor condensed and turned into a fine powder. We can all have a vial of you. If you want, I guess. Again, that's odd, but, like, whatever. I'll be dead, so it doesn't really matter what happens to me. That's a lie. Let me tell you what I want to happen when I die. I want to be cryogenically frozen, even though I know .9999999999999999999999 like to the power of, you know, whatever. Like, I know it's not going to do anything, but I'd rather my body be frozen and have some 0.00000000001% chance that in the future they can do something. Because I don't want to die, you know? Death sounds awful, just because I like existing. A lot of the time, at least. You know, I mean, it's not the easiest thing in the world, but at least it's existing as opposed to the opposite of that. You know? I don't know. But it doesn't matter. I'll die like all of us someday. And it'll be very sad, and you all better cry, okay? If you don't cry, I'll be mad. I won't, because I'll be dead, but understand that I am mad now in proxy for dead me if you don't cry. Dr. Xanadu with 20 bits. You can get your ashes turned into an artificial diamond through months of intense heat and pressure. That's my plan. That's pretty sweet. And then Daddy Sume with 20 bits. Here's what you do, Hannah. Ferengi death ritual. The Ferengi death ritual. Upon learning that he had 6 days to live after being diagnosed with Direct syndrome, during his annual insurance physical, Quark drew up a list of preparations he had to fulfill before he died. These included making out his will, funding his mother's pension, making arrangements for a funeral service, and paying off all Ferengi debts. Vacuum desiccation. The process following death of a Ferengi could be summarized by Odo, who found the Ferengi ritual of chopping up their loved ones and selling them to be irresistible. Odo explained to Quark in 2370 that he found it to be a fitting and distinguished way to honor the memory of a great Ferengi entrepreneur. A more notable aspect of Ferengi death rituals happened between the chopping up and selling pieces of the body, where the remains were immediately vacuum desiccated, then divided into 52 discs, each disc typically marked with a Ferengi seal of dismemberment. In addition to localized sales, one could always sell the desiccated remains of the corpse on the Ferengi Futures Exchange. Oh god, why? Gross. Oh, Ferengis, man. Tucker White 94 with 20 bits. With just gibberish. Empty the tanks with 20 bits. I probably would cry, to be honest. I'm a baby. Glad you're here and hope you're here for a good time and a long time. Well, thank you. Enlid with 20 bits. So in journalism school, one of the assignments give out at the start of the semester is writing an obituary about yourself, basically learning how to use AP style, and including locations and such. Some people got pretty morbid with those. Yeah, I'd imagine so. Kind of a fun thing, though, albeit morbid. Read it, Hannah? No. I'm not going to read the gibberish. Just because you give me 20 cents doesn't mean I'm going to do that every single time. So I don't know. What do you guys want to start with today? Hi, Lupine. Welcome back. No? No one wants to say what they're doing. Sovereign Citizen gets arrested. You want your schadenfreude? Where I don't have any arrested videos pulled up. We just have them talking about their beliefs today. Okay, I'm gonna start with I'm a judge, you're fucked guy. I gotta watch this one more time. So just in case anyone, oh, also, for the bits messages, I do bits messages, but I changed the format in case you guys don't know, so I'm not, like, stopping every 20 seconds to read bits messages. I will get to all the bits messages, but I do them at specified times. So, like, every 20, 30 minutes I'll go through, but I'm not going to read them as they come in just because, you know, we were getting so many.
That's right, capitalistic propaganda.
Kath Psychic, thank you for hosting. Okay, so for those who are just coming in and didn't see last week's Sovereign Citizen, whatever day it was, there's this interesting fellow in Canada who claims to be a judge. He's not. And he believes that the Canadian government is illegitimate and somehow an American corporation. Yeah. So he's been calling different governmental agencies and yelling at them. Here's an example from last week, which is pretty amazing.
Do you understand that's criminal, not identifying yourself? And you're not a government, you're a USA-based corporation. What's your name or your supervisor's name? You cannot not identify yourself. Then fuck you, bitch. We're coming for you. We're going to come find out who you are through your work. I'm getting private investigators, and we're going after all of you. We're a real government, you fucking cunt, genocide piece of shit. You fucking feel me, you fucking bitch? This is all recorded. Lee, you're fucking done, bitch. I'm a judge. You're fucked.
So that fine gentleman continues to do his sovereign citizen nonsense, and here we have a video of him explaining what he thinks a society is, and why he believes he's exempt from society as we understand it, the laws all applying to us equally, at least in theory, if not in practice for the wealthy, right? So let's see what he has to say.
Hi guys, how you doing? It is Marcel of the family Bessette. Today I am going to be talking about the definition of what makes a society. So some people try saying that our society isn't real. I'm going to prove that's wrong right now. So the definition of a society, I'm going to be explaining that. I'm also going to ask a bunch of questions for you to go answer for yourself. You answering these questions will prove I am right. Within that, you need to answer them because I can tell you the right answers all day, and you may not have enough knowledge to understand if that's correct or not.
He is way too close to that microphone or something. Like, I know I don't have the best audio in the biz, but I have the exact same microphone as him. See? You can tell. But at least I have, like, a windsock, and, like, it's on, like, a mount that's, I don't know, it's squeaky, but if I don't touch it, it's fine. I don't know. I feel like my audio is a little less blown out than his. I think he has his gain turned up too high or something.
I'm getting some people in hate comments and stuff, as well as some really, really good questions from people. So I'm doing this just for the doubters, the haters, to put them in their place, as well as to let anyone who wants to know how and why this is right. So what is the definition of a society? The best way I ever heard it put is a society is defined as 3 or more people joined in mutual consent for a common goal. That common goal could be I love puppies. There are lots of societies out there.
Let's look at the actual dictionary definition of society, just because I feel like that's a faulty definition, considering that could apply to, like, a family, which I would argue is a separate entity, right? Like, a family isn't a society in and of itself. But let's take a look. I don't know what the actual society... Oh, hello, kitty. Wow, you could have knocked that over. That would have been a disaster. Society. The aggregate of people living together in a more or less ordered community. An organization or club formed for a particular purpose or activity. So, it doesn't have a specific number of people or anything, but basically a group of people coming together for a ordered community. Fine. That makes sense.
That's right. But what makes a society? 3 or more people join in mutual consent for a common goal. Now, let's go here. Okay, let's go big. Let's go to share screen. And I'm going to show to you guys that we are, in fact, a society of 3 or more people. Oh, let's close.
Do you have to establish that we live in a society of 3 or more people? I think we know that Canada, or any province of Canada, has 3 or more people in it.
Let's reduce that. Cancel. Okay, so let's go to...
Ooh, he's going incognito. Is this about to get spicy? Sovereign citizen XXX material?
Let's see if there's been 3 people in Peacemaker Society or not. Now, first of all, our founding document has myself, Craig Clark, and John Simons as the founders.
Oh, no. Okay, so for those who don't know, this Marcel Bessette guy has basically a club that you could maybe call a cult also. So I'm guessing he's going to take his club, and his website looks terrible. That image is blown up way too big. But anyway, he's going to claim that the little cult/club that he has is somehow a society. Okay, fine.
That made it Peacemaker Society exists. There were 3 witnesses. You need 3 witnesses to make any document lawfully admissible in any court, hence 3 witnesses at a wedding. And also 3 witnesses in court is considered valid testimony. Less than 3 is open to possibly being hearsay. But if you have 3 people that saw the same thing, courts will generally acknowledge that as being more or less fact. Is
I don't know the legality of that in terms of either American or Canadian legal proceedings. I have no idea what the standard is. Like, I know hearsay is basically like, I heard someone say this, or I you know, that kind of thing. Like, an affidavit could be hearsay, but I don't know if there's any amount of, like, individuals corroborating something that raise it from hearsay to some other standard. I have no idea.
my understanding. And to all the people out there, no, I'm not a lawyer. I don't pretend to be a lawyer. I am a sales consultant that
You literally claimed to be a judge in the other video. You said, I'm a judge and you're fucked, bitch. You said those words. A judge is above a lawyer in terms of, like, authority.
is good at researching things, and I got to the bottom of how this stuff works in contract. Let me just go to...
He's not even a judge? No, he just claims to be. He's a sovereign citizen. Squid's playing Cthulhu Saves Christmas for charity. Can we raid her at the end? Sure.
I'm just trying to go to the page that has the photos of our staff from the past and people that have been members and joined. Okay, so there's this one, and then last but not least... Oh, you know what? No, it's in our headquarters one here. I remember which one it is now. So anyways, guys, so remember, a society is defined as one, two, three, or more people join a mutual consent for a common goal. Here's the photos. It'll just take a second for that to upload. Okay, so these are people that have either worked with us or actually been members or run programs. And again, all of these people...
This is the ugliest format. And again, I'm just critiquing the visuals. This has nothing to do with the sovereign citizen stuff. What a terrible format to have your, like, image database in for your website where it looks like it's all in a circle like that. It looks terrible.
Are people joined in mutual consent for a common goal. Now, a lot of these people are independent contractors, but over the years, we have had members actually join. Now, I am the signatory. I am who this has been entrusted to because I did all the work. Through all of this, I've ran all the meetings. I paid all the costs. When other people had other priorities, I was a soldier, and I kept going. So I'm really excited and really happy because all of my work is proven and done. Also to the people that are trying to pretend that what I'm doing isn't valid, you'll see global competent law jurisdiction on our website here. If I scroll down, you'll see that. Okay, these are actual notice of identity documents from a lawyer. This is resolution of officers, members, unincorporated association at a bank. Okay, so it's absolutely proven, you guys.
I mean, I'm sure it's an official club or organization or whatever they formed it under, but that doesn't mean what he thinks it means. Like, forming a club or a non-profit or whatever this organization happens to be under doesn't mean that you are, like, a society in and of yourself. I guess if you use society as, like, a definition, like, clubs can be called, you know, societies. But it doesn't mean the same thing as, like, a society, like American society or Canadian society, right? Like, if you have a club and you call it a society, that's valid, but it's a different kind of society than a governmental-controlled society like a country or a city or a state. Just because you started a club doesn't mean people within that club can start to say that you're sovereign and the laws of society as a whole don't apply to you just because you've banded together in a club. That's not how it works.
Notary stamp that I'm correct. My identity document, page 1, page 2, just showing you guys. And that was the notary stamp on page 3. So if we go to the YouTube videos here, I'm going to take you guys through a few of the videos and some of the comments. So a few questions I have for you is, can anyone force you to contract? And if they do, is that contract valid? Call a lawyer. Don't tell them it's to do with sovereignty. Just ask a corporate lawyer.
Okay, but that's the problem. You're asking them without the context of what you mean. Can someone force you to sign a contract in terms of some sort of business deal or even a personal contract between two individuals? No, but you're defining obeying the laws of society and, like, governmental laws applying to you. You're saying that that is a contract and therefore you have not consented, therefore rules don't apply to you, when that's not what it is. No one... The fact that the government sets laws and those laws apply to you is not a contract. Sometimes we colloquially will call that agreement the social contract, but it's not a literal contract, right? You don't need to say, oh, I consent to laws applying to me. They just do. Like, these people are just, like, frustrated, and I understand the frustration inherently to be like, I didn't ask to be here, and now all of a sudden I'm here, and I gotta, you know, have a job, and pay taxes, and vote, and care about things. Like, I understand the existential thought of, like, I did not consent to exist, yet here I am, and laws and rules apply to me, that really it's not fair, I guess, in some sort of, again, sort of out there idea of I don't know, existing in a vacuum outside of these things. But it is nonetheless the way it is, right? I'm not telling you have to like it, but you do have to accept it. And to try and come up with loopholes for why you think these laws do not apply to you, up to and including, like, going to a contract lawyer and saying, like, can someone force me to contract? And this guy, this idiot, telling you, oh, but don't tell him it's a sovereign citizen thing, because the lawyer will explain exactly what I've explained. They'll do so more eloquently and with more citations to actual law, because they know what they're talking about. But nonetheless, they're gonna say, you can't just exempt yourself from society by defining the rule of law as a contract that you don't consent to, because that's not how it works.
If anyone can force you to contract, if someone puts a gun to your head, is that a valid contract? Okay. And does that apply to all corporations? Yes. Limitation of Powers, Corporations Act. Go look it up.
The government isn't a corporation, at least not a private for-profit corporation, the definition that he's using.
So again, reading my hate mail, prove I'm legit. This video here proves I'm legitimate. Again, we went all through it. I show the proof, and yet people are still commenting like I'm not. So let's go down here. I'm going to show you guys one of these jackasses. Oh, just turn comments off if you're going to delete them. I just posted that, fuck off. Go listen to the voice in your head, you fucking loser. 41 subscribers. You're not PewDiePie. You wish the loser. Fuck you.
He's so... What beautiful eloquence from this judge. He also spelled, I think, schizo wrong. Which you shouldn't really call people anyway, because that's pretty derogatory towards people with actual schizophrenia. But nonetheless, he spelled it wrong anyway, I'm pretty sure.
I had also put on there, it's my channel, and I will run it how I want. I'm not sure why that...
By this same token, since he's making fun of this guy, and I don't... You really shouldn't make fun of the number of subscribers people have, because YouTube's a bitch, right? Online... whatever you want to call it. Online entertainment, online edutainment, online personality shit is a big luck thing, right? Making fun of people for having very few subscribers generally isn't a great thing to do. I think I've fallen into that a couple times, but, like, this guy's making fun of this guy for having 41 subscribers, right? But this guy has 833 subscribers. I have almost 8,000, so could I say this same thing to this guy? I guess I theoretically could. I'm not going to, though, because I don't think the validity of your points has anything to do with the number of subscribers you have. Because there's always a bigger fish, right? By this logic, like, PewDiePie is the most intelligent man on YouTube, and he's not. So, your number of subscribers has nothing to do with whether or not your points are valid.
It's not on there. Anyway, I'm not going to comment on that right now, so whatever. But yeah, so if we go back to YouTube again, I'm going to go to one of the other ones. Again, I have people from this group called Quatloos, who are ex-lawyers and cops, apparently, or so I'm being told by some jackass commenting on my stuff. And let's go down to the one that they're in there.
Is PewDiePie still the biggest? I think he is. Let me double check. Who has the most YouTube subscribers? Yep, PewDiePie. PewDiePie. No, T-Series. Whoever T-Series is. Interesting, it says PewDiePie, but these numbers say T-Series is above by 50 million or so. Let me look at the actual website. Yeah, T-Series. PewDiePie's number 2. Wow, WWE's at, right there. Didn't know that. That's interesting. Anyway.
No, I don't feel like...
T-Series is an Indian music thing? Oh, okay. So I guess PewDiePie would be the probably most subscribed individual, even though I'm sure PewDiePie has, you know, people who work for him and do editing and stuff, but still, he's the channel, so.
Signing in. Maybe if I click... I just want to go to my channel here. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I know that guy. Let's try and pause that. Okay, let's get that pause. There we go. Okay, so let's find it here. Here we go. So debunker. If you don't already know, your BS has been tracked by real lawyers, judges, cops, and blah, 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 quat lose. Debunker. Glad you brought those assholes up. They're not lawyers. They're expert, or nor are they experts. They don't allow me to defend myself and prove I'm right. Michelle Maddock identity document. They just choose not to believe and hate on me. They're tax officials, I believe, who are full of shit. Quote me, sue me if I'm wrong, quote lose or a lie. So this guy says, here we go. Incorrect. I spent a period of 1 year with them as I was coming out of my Freeman trance. True, there are many current and former tax officials, but I also conversed with many lawyers, cops, FBI, and even a few and former judges. In fact, the judge who wrote the infamous Meads versus Meads Freeman court decision is a member of Q, under a pen name, of course. For an idiot who has been in the game for 7 years, you clearly know absolutely nothing. Again, society, 3 or more people join in mutual consent. That guy's an asshole. Fuck him. My society is in harmony with actual law. Legality is not law, nor are legal contracts.
Legality is not law? What? What?
Just rules given force of law. If there were a valid contract, which there isn't, dumb fuck. If I break the law, I am liable, yet I do not, as my law is correct to law. See my identity document for proof from lawyers. So again, the reason that I tie into people like that, let me go off. Stop the share there. So the reason that I tie into these people all the time, you guys, is because I deliberately come across a little awkward to get the haters out to come out at me.
You don't really come off as awkward. You speak, you know, relatively, I'll say you speak confidently. You just kind of seem like a jerk. Like, you're very mean. You swear at people immediately when they push back against your nonsense. You're just kind of a jerk. That's how I would put it. You're not awkward. You're just mean. They're different.
I know how to be cool. I know I look a little schmucky. These glasses make me look a little whatever, not as credible, whatever. I do that.
I don't think your glasses don't make you look credible. I think the nonsense that comes out of your mouth makes you sound incredibly not credible because none of the things you're saying are true. I actually like the glasses. This is a good look for you. You just need to change all the nonsense beliefs.
On purpose, because my results are credible. I don't care if people come out at me. In fact, I hope they do. If you dislike my videos, I know you're never allowed in our society. I love it. If you talk shit to me, I know you're a moron and I know to stay away from you. Everything that happens around me, I have designed on purpose.
He's Machiavellian. Him, his green screen, his white glasses, and his microphone without a mic sock. I can do everything except recognize I'm playing 7D chess 5 steps ahead, except I can't figure out that I should have something on my mic so when I make P sounds, I don't pop into the microphone. He's Machiavellian, though, just so you know. He's 12 steps ahead at all times.
All working with my systems, whether you cooperate or not. Okay, I love it when you hate me. I love it when you love me. To the people who hate me, I hate you far more. Okay? People like you or who took my kid or had me raided or all that other stuff before when I was younger and I didn't know my rights.
Oh, boy. Oh, no.
So fuck you. Okay, I hate you way more. You hate me because of your shortcomings. I hate you because of things that have actually been done to me, and I recognize you're exactly like the people who did it. So fuck everybody who's like anyone who violated me or would. And to all the people who would lynch me, I'm tougher than you. You're lucky you don't step up or I would fucking fuck you up. Okay, I've been over 500 fucking street fights. I know self-defense. I know how to speak to you.
Wait, he's been in... Okay, you've been in over 500 street fights. Not 100, not 50, over 500, which implies that you were counting up to 500, and then at that point you're like, and I'm doing this weekly, so what would even the point be? You're telling me you're getting into street fights on a weekly basis? At least a monthly basis, and that's assuming he's been getting into street fights since he's like 8 years old, okay? That's dangerous. Don't get into that many street fights. If you get into one street fight, maybe you just ran into an asshole. If you get into 500 street fights, you are a fucked up person that needs help and probably anger management.
Will make you touch me, and when you touch me, I know how to fuck you up. That's why I act awkward. That's why I don't care if you guys talk shit. I just went through 500 comments today and I laughed at you.
Oh, maybe 500 is just a number he uses a lot to mean a very big number. 500 street fights, and I went through 500 comments. Sure you did. You have 833 subscribers, but I'm sure you got 500 comments the other day.
You guys. I also, it made me feel better because it's the same 10 or 15 people commenting over and over and over and over again. And the fact that you guys keep commenting shows I'm right, shows you're a loser or you wouldn't care so fucking much.
That's true. I'm definitely a loser, but for reasons completely divorced from finding you very, very entertaining.
That's why I'm going to keep doing this. One, I serve God. That's who I serve, not my haters or my fans. I don't.
How does Jesus feel about you getting into 500 street fights? Because Jesus said that if your enemy strikes you on your cheek, then you should turn the other cheek, not kick their ass, right? Jesus was pretty staunchly anti-ass kicking, unless you're selling animals in the temple for sacrifice. Then he'll flip your tables and shit. But he didn't beat anyone up. He just threatened them with a whip, which is a little bit different.
I don't care who likes what I do or not. I do this.
Go look at the video and see how many comments there are. On this video, there are 3 comments. There are 5 if you count the ones that are replies by him.
For me. This is like my therapy in dealing with all you fucking retards out there.
Ooh.
And since I was young, I used to just punch people the fuck out. So now for 11 years, I'm peaceful. Nobody has to worry about that. But again, 3 or more people in mutual consent is a society. Can anyone force you to register? No. Can anyone lawfully force you to incorporate? No. Do you have to do either of those? No. If you don't do those, are you unregistered and unincorporated? Yes. Does TD have an unregistered, unincorporated society a bank account? Yes, they do. Is it called a sovereign account when you're going through their system? It is, because I've seen it firsthand. Okay, ISO officers of the bank approve our stuff and prove it meets the international operating standards or standards of operation for how corporations are supposed to conduct themselves. And these are banks, high-up banks that are international that I deal with. This is why I know this is right.
Okay, I'm sure you and your organization can have a bank account. They set up bank accounts for corporations and nonprofits and LLCs all the time. That doesn't make you sovereign and not have the law apply to you. That's not how it works. Do you think that, like, someone who works for, I don't know, McDonald's because they're part of a corporation, that the law doesn't apply to them all of a sudden because they're a part of a corporation? That's not how this works. Corporations exist as legal entities for a variety of practical reasons, for tax purposes, for legal purposes, all sorts of reasons, right? For organizing society.
You do realize I wasn't asking you to look at the comments on that video.
I don't know what video he was talking about, though.
He was talking about the video where he was threatening to fuck people up.
Was it?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'll take a look at one of those videos then. Give me a sec.
Like the one where he was saying, I'm a judge and you're fucked, bitch.
Well, they only have 228 views, 0 comments. He's probably deleted them by now. But they have under half of 500. This one has a little over half. Yeah, he must have deleted them all.
So fuck you, the guy from Quatloos. Fuck you to the lawyers, judges, FBI, anybody watching this, fuck you. I am the law. I'm not above law, but my law is in harmony
I love you too.
with corporate law, common law, and natural law.
He's Judge Dredd. He is the law. Let's get to some of these bit messages since we're about halfway through the video and there's a lot of them piling up. Sorry, I'm getting there. Okay. Captain Rose says communism is when no bunny. Kath Psychic, thank you for hosting. Tucker White 94, message deleted by moderator. Tucker White 94 with 20 bits. All I know about society is that we live in one. Dr. Xanadu with 20 bits. Calling their group the family definitely doesn't make them sound like a cult. Daddy Sume with 20 bits. Says robot penis in reference to the microphone. Tucker White 94, so a society includes polygamy. Eroding, thank you for following. Dr. Xanadu with 20 bits. Wait, so polyamorous relationship is a society because they have the common goal of boning? Awesome. Eroding with 400 bits. Thank you. Tucker White 94 with 20 bits. 3 witnesses is considered valid testimony. All right, then. At Sexy New Grows, Wing the Ultimate Nug and I once saw Hannah and Baha mug a Russian on Ganymede to buy smack. True. Tucker White 94, 20 bits, but Hannah, he's a judge. Surely he as a judge knows more about the law than the former triangle player for Sex Abacus. Manky Man, thank you for following. Dr. Xanadu with 20 bits. These numbers are fraudulent because the observers weren't 3 inches away and they were counting the subscribers. I actually have the most with 9 trillion subscribers. Harry K5 with 20 bits. I can deal with manga, cope, and chuds. I can deal with Q. I can deal with sovereign citizens. I can't deal with all these theories at once. It's the cringe conspiracy theory of everything. A deer sigh with 69 bits. Hello, Hannah. Thank you. Hello. Logarth, 20 bits. Brave words for a man with a pinky ring. Big Sky Pioneer with 20 bits. Violate, Lynch. Wow. Just wow. Dr. Gamble with 20 bits. He is Street Fighter. Dr. Gamble, I am very badass. Tucker White 94. Yes, I too love the parable where Jesus said, let he who is without sin screech at the receptionist and say, fuck you, I'm a judge, bitch. Harry K5 with 20 bits. Street fights. He probably had a concussion or 3. I've heard about how MMA and pro wrestlers are attracted to Q and such, and I feel like there's a connection there. I'm a pro wrestling fan, and as a lefty, that saddens me. Don't get me wrong, there are good lefties in pro wrestling, and then Casual Snark with 20 bits. But he has so many societies telling him to get bent. Okay, we're caught up. Back to the video.
As attested to on my identity document. Let's go back to screen share here. It'll take me just a second to go to my identity document. Let's go here and get this for you guys. Here we go. Oh, no, I forgot which.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Computer.
Actually, I have some pretzels in a little bag in the, where the snacks are. Could you get me that? Thank you.
Come on, this one has it ready. So here we go. It's either on page 2 or 3, what I'm looking for. Okay. As you guys can hear the sirens in the background. Nothing to do with me.
That's a little sus that's even your first thought. Like, if I hear sirens, thank you. If I hear sirens, my first thought isn't they're coming for me.
Okay, so this is page 3. Page 2 is the one I want. So, bottom here. Birth certificate still exists, but Marcel Riley Bessette no longer contracts his private unalienable rights to be governed under act or statute, but rather is an unregistered, unincorporated flesh and blood man and living soul, which is now bound to peacemaker society, sovereign oath, as per lawful excuse, via claim of right, and is in harmony with corporate law, common law, and natural law. Okay, and this is a lawyer notarized identity document. Marcel the family Bessette signed his Peacemaker Society sovereign member oath and the notice of understanding and intent and claim of right cured as law as per due process September 3rd, 2009. Said notice of understanding and intent and claim of right affidavit proof of service reference number LT 491438449 CA was accepted by Stephen Harper's office firstly on July 8th. That the unregistered, unincorporated man and living soul, known as Marcel Riley Bessette, reclaimed all inalienable rights as of September 3rd, 2009. He holds all his rights as sovereign rights held by Indigenous power. As per the cured claim of right, the living man, Marcel Riley Bessette...
So he wrote up like a bullshit contract saying that he's rescinding his consent to society? You can't do that.
...operates under the jurisdiction of Peacemaker Society law. So again, anyone who's talking shit that I'm not on the level is full of shit. I don't care if they're a lawyer or a judge. They're liable, and I know that from natural gas brokers I used to supervise.
Hold on, I can do this too. Let me pull something up. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I wanted this. Okay, guys, we're going to do the same thing with the exact same legal weight. Okay? Ready? Let me see if I can get this to work. Okay. Ready? This is going to be some serious legal galaxy brain stuff right here, okay? We got to make it big font because that's what makes it legitimate, okay? And there we go. That's how it works. Once you type it in a Word document, that's how the law works, right? Now I can go rob a bank and the cops can't stop me. All right.
Did you just pull a Michael Scott or something and write, I declare sovereignty?
The law doesn't apply to me. Just so you know.
Because you type it?
Yeah.
Makes it true.
Yeah. That's how the law works, okay? I'm a super judge, actually, so I know.
You're a super judge.
I'm a super judge. It's like a judge, but like I'm better than a judge. I have like more legal powers.
But if you're, like, how can you be a judge, like, for us if you're not in our society?
That's part of my super judge powers. I can reach into society and dictate laws to others, but they don't apply to me.
Ah. Okay. You're an interesting person, Hannah.
Yep.
But not as interesting as that guy.
I'll take that as a compliment.
And again, the Public Utility Board would write them up. Those were security interests. So to all the people who think I'm upset, I laugh at anyone who doubts me. You don't affect my results. I'm only doing these videos because my students and I laugh at you. When you laugh at us, we laugh at you right back, but you're the moron suffering.
I know I gotta
You're the one
fix the
paying
size of this.
taxes.
I'm
I
doing it in a
don't.
sec.
You're the one honoring legal debts. I don't, unless it's somebody I want to keep dealing with. Then I do. I spend about $10,000 to $20,000 a month on suppliers for various
You spend $10,000 to $20,000 a month? Where are you getting this money?
things I run who know I'm credible. We just bought a property. We have an island that we're moving out to. So within that, anyone who thinks I'm full of shit, you can suck my D. Okay, I don't care. I come from the streets, and again, I am peaceful because people like you, if you doubt me, should be punched the fuck.
You're peaceful. You just said you got in 500 street fights. That's the opposite of peaceful.
Out. But luckily, law says you can't be. You have the right to be an ignorant fuck, but I have the right to point that out to you. I've never been to jail. I've been interrogated by police. I've been to court so many times it's not even funny, and within that, I win every time. I have no pending matters. Nothing's coming after me, and if they do, they lose. And I'm a badass motherfucker that people don't fuck with. So in my city, you may think I'm a joke elsewhere because I'm nowhere near you, but in my city, people know to respect me, and if they disrespect me, they know to fear me. Period. Now, I give mercy all the time. That's how come I'm so successful and I make so much money, because I don't go after people. I'm not a psychopath. I have every right to, within lawful terms, and before my oath, I felt completely correct punching people in the face if you fucked with me. I had no problem with physical violence at all. At all. I loved it. It was very fun because I'm really good at it. But within that, I'm not allowed to do that anymore, so I don't.
The words
So
of
again,
a peaceful man right there.
Is a society 3 or more people join a mutual consent for a common goal? Go look it up. Yes, it is. There are various ways it'll be described, but it'll be along those lines. Has my society had 3 or more people join a mutual consent to set this up? Yes, we have. Period. Has it been entrusted to me over time, and have I earned the right to run it? Yes, I have. Is there limitation of powers in the Corporations Act? Go look it up. See what that is. What are the rules of a valid contract? Go look that up. See if the contracts you're signing meet that. Can a government be a corporation and be lawful? No, they can't.
The government is not a private for-profit corporation. I don't know where you people are getting this nonsense. It's not the case. Neither the United States government nor the Canadian government are corporations. They're just not. What are you talking about? It's a complete fiction that you've... I don't think that he created it. I've heard this from other sovereign citizens, so it's got to be coming from somewhere. But it's complete nonsense. The United States government is not a corporation, at least not in the way they are using the term corporation. If you broadly define corporation as any group of people who come together to create an entity for a purpose, I guess. But by that same, any group of people together is a corporation then. But that's not what it is. It's a public government. It's not the same thing as a corporation.
No, you're a corporate government, not an actual government. There's a difference. So within that, if you're a license, if you have a license and you're insured, are you incompetent or you would not need insurance to cover your actions? Yes, you are. If you're limited liability, you are commercially incompetent. Hence, you're a fucking moron. You can't say shit to me. Anyone who wants to talk...
What? Are you saying that because someone's part of an LLC, and LLC, for those who don't know, is a limited liability corporation. An LLC, and Jake and I have one of these, is basically an entity that shields you legally, personally, for actions done on behalf of the LLC. So, like, if McDonald's committed some malfeasance, let's say it turned out, and this is a hypothetical, this has not happened to my knowledge, the McRib's back. Let's say there were worms in the McRib, and they were getting people very sick or something. Again, hypothetical. This is not something that's happening. Let's say the McRib has been infested with a parasite, and thousands of people get these parasites. Now, they can sue McDonald's, which is a company, but they cannot personally sue, like, an individual on the board of directors at McDonald's or the CEO of McDonald's for the actions of the company. The LLC protects you from that. It's a limited liability corporation. The liability is limited to the corporation. You don't get to then sue individuals in the corporation unless it breaches some absolutely ridiculous, like, amount of malpractice. I'm sure there's some way you could get to them, but that's, extraordinary circumstances. So, like, he's saying that because you're part of an LLC, you are inherently calling yourself incompetent, which is not the case. Anyone who's, like, anyone who's operating in the public sphere in any capacity to make money should probably have an LLC. You don't want to end up liable for shit like that. It's just not good.
Shit needs to do it under full commercial liability, under penalty of perjury, under oath or attestation, or you're just a fucking loser talking shit. Everything I say is under full commercial liability, under penalty of perjury, under oath or attestation. And I adamantly hate police. Even if police were law, I'd still say people should fight them. Fuck the police. I hate them either way. Okay, even if that were criminal, I would still hate them and advocate for people to fight the police. But they are criminal, so I'm actually the law advocating lawfully against criminal for-profit sales agents stealing from people. Is Canada Incorporated listed on sec.gov at Massachusetts Avenue in Washington, D.C.? What you vote for, is that the same thing? Yes, it is.
No, it's not. I'm sure there is a company somewhere called Canada Incorporated, but that doesn't mean that is the Canadian government. It means it is a company that happens to be called Canada Incorporated. Like, what? I'm sure there's also an America Incorporated, but that doesn't make it the American government.
Are the law courts listed on Dun & Bradstreet? Yes, they are. Do banks open sovereign association bank accounts if it's a larger international bank? Yes, they do. Period. Are the Freemasons a real society? Yes, they are.
Okay, the Freemasons exist, but it's like a gentleman's club, and not the strip club kind. I mean, it's like a fraternity for typically older men to go and do things for their community or hang out. Like, it's not nefarious. They rent out their spaces for, like, quinceañeras and bar mitzvahs and stuff. They're not a maniacal shadow society. It's just kind of a cringy fraternity for dudes.
Did we reverse engineer how all that was set up and do it, but so that we are correct to process and we don't do blood oaths and we don't put people under that system of criminality that the Freemasons are, to my understanding, and that they murder and rape children? Fuck the...
No, that escalated very quickly into some QAnon bullshit.
Freemasons. Fuck everyone who supports them. Is it right to support the legal system when birth certificates are slavery bonds? No.
Birth certificates are not slavery bonds. They are a certificate of your birth. It's what they are. They have a little information on them. They say, like, the hospital that you were born in, your name, your parents' names, if applicable. All that's on, it's not a slavery certificate.
Period. Is it right to enslave people through birth certificates as chattel property on a corporation's national debt? No.
I would agree if that were the case, but it's not. That's a bunch of nonsense, and none of that's true.
Are you ethical if you work for that system in any way? No. Are you a piece of shit if you talk shit to me instead of just learning your rights? Yes. And does it affect me if you talk shit to me? No. It just means I'm not going to teach you, and I get extreme joy from knowing you're going to suffer the rest of your fucking life because assholes like you made it I suffered before I claimed my rights. For 11 years, I don't suffer, you guys. I laugh at fucking peasant morons. I pray that anyone worth their salt who is like I was claims it and does it. And if you don't, will you suffer? Yes. So do I give a fuck? No. Either way, I'm going off to my land. I'm spending time with the people I love. This was just to show you guys what's up, what it takes to actually be solid. And let's go to stop share screen here. So within that, I am so excited that I have so many fucking haters. I love it. All you people are going to suffer.
He's such a vindictive weirdo. What is up with... Don't you love when people are like, I'm not even mad. I love my haters. You're the best. Thanks, haters. Also, you're gonna suffer. What kind of psychopathic behavior is this?
And that brings me joy. Anyone who actually doesn't cooperate with law is criminally liable.
Joke's on him. I suffer all the time anyway with dysphoria. Hooray!
And myself or others who are correct to process will hold you accountable in the future. And that fills me with joy. To people who work the legal system and think you're not going to get found out, there are other lawyers who are against the system. There are lots of people who know it's full of shit, can't stand it, and they are willing to do the right thing when you're not because you're a fucking sellout. And as you guys know, law always goes harder on criminals who don't cooperate with law. So if you're one of these criminals supporting the legal system, you're exactly who we're coming for. I'm taking records of everyone's names, and we will look up who you all are later. We will have litigation and or private security. And
but have you considered, Marcel, that I do not consent to your vindictive behavior? That's how it works, right? If I don't consent, then you can't come after me legally? Isn't that how you think the law works? Just checking.
or sheriffs come arrest you in time. And
oh, so he hates the police unless he can weaponize them against his enemies. Very consistent.
It's all within peaceful, lawful means, all correct to process, which is why I will never go to jail for any of this. So to all the people out there who think this is full of shit, you're a fucking idiot. To all the people who know it's real, keep fighting the fight. You're the freedom heroes. I'm proud of you. Keep going. And all of you need what we have to open your own society so you can do the finances and actually operate in and out of the legal system within your own sovereign rights held by indigenous power. And if you're born on Earth, you're indigenous to Earth. And to all the judges, FBI, cops for Quatloos and all that shit are working the system against people's rights, fuck you. There's way more of us. You guys are fucked.
There definitely aren't more sovereign citizens than there are people who are not sovereign citizens. That's just factually untrue.
And it's easy to find out where you live and come to your houses, eh? So we're not afraid of any of you fuckers. We're not.
That's a threat. You can't do that. You can't just threaten people. I have a feeling, because this guy's going to be a regular on Sovereign Citizen Sunday, or Saturday, whatever, because he still posts regularly, right? He's been doing more stuff like this lately, where it's like, oh, look at the birds, doing, you know, bird feeder stuff. But, like, he does videos. I have a feeling at some point we're going to see him get arrested, just because this guy is a little unhinged.
He literally threatened that he was going to find people's information from their names and come find them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's
gotta, I don't know, Canadian law, I guess, but I feel like that's a direct threat, which is potentially illegal. It's definitely against YouTube terms of service. I don't know about the law.
If he works on YouTube, then he is also liable for what he says, like, under U.S. law.
Sure.
YouTube is a...
U.S. corporation.
Yeah.
YouTube is a U.S. corporation, unlike the Canadian government.
Going to fight you as a whole. We're going to come
He claims Canada is a U.S. Okay.
after you one-on-one, peacefully, lawfully, within correct process. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for tuning in. This was the Sacred Circle that we taped our event at, and I felt like an appropriate place to invite you guys to have this conversation. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys in the next video. I am Marcel, the family Bessette, 100% proven, loving it, loving my haters. They can go fuck themselves, but I have them. And the more they hate, the more I know I'm right. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys soon. Go answer those questions and just know you have rights. Absolutely, you do. Look at the Nuremberg trials. Look up the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Look up there's so many documents out there, it's not even funny. And within that, you create your own documents. Those are merely reference that rights exist for the morons in the legal system who are sellouts who believe they have the right to use force to force people to do shit. That's exactly.
You're literally threatening to use force to get people to stop criticizing you. You're doing the thing. Why are you a hypocrite?
What's wrong with the world? If you bring a woman on a date, or you're on a date with a man or woman, you bring them back to your home and you think they have to have sex with you just because they cross the threshold into your house, you're going to get charged with rape pretty quick and be going to fucking jail. Same thing goes for all the people forcing contract. Fuck you. Laws.
You're comparing following the law to assaulting someone, which is, you're comparing opposites. You're comparing being compelled to follow the law with breaking the law. I don't think I've ever heard a less apt metaphor for anything ever.
Coming for you. We're not backing down. And even if I were criminal, I'd still fight you fucking guys, but I'm not. I'm correct to process. My identity documents prove it, as does Mike Cook, Michelle Maddock, all the different layers of the legal system that have acknowledged us. You can go to testimonials on peacemakersociety.org to see it, and fuck my haters. Thank you guys. Cheers. And I'm having a great time. I love all this shit. I even love fighting with people. So this is all fun for me. I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers, guys. Bye.
Wowzers. Let's see what the comments were. I know he responded to some people in the comments. This person says, "Hi, society." And he says, "Hi, hope you're well. Stay tuned. We have many programs coming. Enjoy your rights. Learn them ASAP. Thank you for support and the warm hello. Thank you, Marcel, for showing and putting out this information. Greatly appreciated. Glad it was helpful. Give me a call whenever works. If I don't answer, leave a number, and I'll call you back, my good man. Stay strong. Lots of people working. They're just all censored. LOL. Chat soon." So, let's take it. Does he have a link to his website on here somewhere? I don't see it. The Peacemaker Society. Let me see if we can find his website. peacemakersociety.org. This is definitely his website, because we saw what it looked like in the video. Global Competent Law Government. Apply now. Why does he set all the videos to autoplay? That's annoying. We are global. Strict your rights. Let me see. Is he selling anything? Ooh, he's had 22,000 hits. Amazing. Wait, why does he have a song from The Greatest Showman embedded in his front page? Okay, fine. Let me see. Freedom package. Ooh, you gotta enter a password to get in the guest area. Ooh, mysterious. So mysterious. Where do I see how much it cost? 2020 rates. Peacemaker Society minimum gift student rate sheet. Good news, for 2020 we have new affordable rates. Basic new rates is freedom under attack by hoax COVID-19. $250 a month for 12 months, or $2,500 a year. Oh no. Our normal personal coaching rates, which include personal coaching, bronze pack number 1 equals $500 for 1 month. All rights reserved university.org. Course and 1 hour mastermind consulting. Silver package, $1,500 for 2 months. Gold package, $5,000 for 6 months. VIP sovereign package, $10,000 for a year with 40 hours of mastermind consulting. Business group package, $25,000 a year and 100 mastermind consulting. So there we go. In my opinion, and let me be clear, legally, when I say, this is my opinion, not necessarily a fact. Oh god, will it stop? Make it stop. You can't, like, exit out of the guest area without closing out the whole web page. Here's my opinion on the matter. It seems pretty grifty to me. I don't know if he actually believes all this nonsense. I think this might be, again, in my opinion, a grift, and he's scamming people into giving him hundreds, if not thousands and thousands of dollars. So, That's fun. We'll keep an eye on Marcel Bessette and see how his, let's call it a business endeavor, continues into the future. Should be interesting. Anyway, done with him for the day. Why don't I use the Wheel of Misfortune anymore? That's a good point. I need to do some more wheel streams. I just get, you know, I don't know. I get in periods where I forget to do it when I'm, like, looking at what I could do for the day. But I'll do some later in the week. Let me get to these bit messages and then we'll move on to the next person. Logarth with 20 bits says, nuh-uh. Obolon with 100 bits. This guy is the logical basis of Michael Scott. Major Dub with 100 bits. Mother Effer just said he comes from the street. Don't think I've ever heard anybody say that legitimately. Casual Snark with 20 bits. I think this genius is confusing Canada with the East India Company. Fix MBR with 30 bits. Your Honor, if you look at this McDonald's napkin, you will clearly see I'm innocent. Big Sky Pioneer. Thank you for the 20 bits. Dr. Xanadu with 20 bits. Do those glasses even have lenses in them, or do they just exist to make him look like a dumbass? Doom Smoothie with 20 bits. I'm a little sick. Don't worry, it's not COVID, and in between naps and watching Psych, I've been feeling awful. Luckily, I woke up just the right time to watch the stream. Yay. I hope you feel better soon. Thanks for coming to the stream. Casual Snark with 20 bits. Lots of peace, but no love with this guy. Swagner484 with 100 bits. Hi, Hannah in chat. Started tea today. Hey, congratulations. Good for you. I hope you enjoy tea more than I did. That's for sure. I've been very happy since I started on tea blockers. Yout Jaxed with 100 bits. I'm so used to watching you, Jake, and Vosh at 1.75 speed that when I catch the streams, it feels weird. I'll try and talk much faster. How about that? Big Sky Pioneer with 20 bits, a little unhinged, a lot of unhinged. Dr. Xanadu with 20 bits, The Sacred Circle, more fuel for the cult fire. Daddy Sume with 20 bits, I'm back. Are we still on this effer? We were. Dr. Xanadu with 20 bits, wait, did he say call? Oh, absolutely, call this lunatic, Hannah. I don't think that's a good idea. I think that's a very bad idea, in fact. Towing 24, let me put it this way, I'm an observer, okay? I'm a nature photographer that'll stand hundreds of feet away with a big lens and I'll take a look at these things. I don't want to interfere, okay? I'm not going to ingratiate myself into these people's weirdo-ness. Just want to observe. Towing24 says, how is this guy going to cite the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms as proving he's a sovereign citizen when it's a charter from Canada, something he claims is a corporation and not a government? Christ, he's stupid. Yeah, it's pretty contradictory. Hail Hydra 209. Got streams are awesome. Sweet. I assume you mean God streams are awesome. Hail Hydra 209 with 100 bits. Zealous 55. Thank you for subscribing. And Big Sky Pioneer with 20 bits. Don't feed the wildlife. Yeah. Who do we want to do next? Oh boy. I think I want to do these guys because it's so interesting. This is 53 minutes. I don't know how far we're going to get into it or if we'll do the whole thing, but let me know how you guys feel about this. You know, if you want me to move on, let me know, but it's pretty interesting. So this video, you got another video of sovereign citizen types trying to explain themselves. This one's a little different, though, because these aren't sovereign citizens. These are what is known as Moorish citizens. There are a group of people in the United States of... How do I put this? They are African American, and they believe that the United States is secretly Morocco, and that black people are the actual indigenous population of the United States, and that chattel slavery... I'm not sure if they believe chattel slavery existed, but they don't think triangular trade existed. They don't think slaves were brought from Africa to the United States. They believe that, again, black people are the indigenous population of the United States that used to be called Morocco, and we've been lied to about history. They believe because that they are the indigenous population of the United States that they can claim sovereignty from the US government. So, I know that's confusing because it's not true, but let's take a look. This is going to be them trying to explain why they're not sovereign citizens, even though they believe a lot of the same sovereign citizen stuff.
Moorish News. I am your host, MD Lavelle, and welcome. I have a guest today.
Can I turn this up? This is very quiet.
Grand Sheik Lavelle of the Moorish Science Temple of America as a body politic.
Oh, sounds like
We're
they
in our
turned it up.
convention-
Okay.
Convention week. Welcome, Grand Sheik.
Let me see if I can turn it up with this. Hold on. Can I do this and turn it up?
Islam, praise Allah.
Oh, it's so good. I need you
And
guys to see this.
Constitution.
And his care. Chapter 25.
Is that better?
Lavelle of the Moorish Science Temple of America as a body politic. We're in our convention week. Welcome, Grand Sheik.
Islam, praise Allah. All praise due to Allah, the Lord, governor, cherisher, sustainer, ruler of the world. Islam.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Grand Sheik. Today, we're going to be bringing to you Moorish News, and we're going to discuss Moorish sovereignty versus Moorish sovereignty versus sovereign citizens. That's what we're going to be discussing today. We have a lot going on here in North America, and we want to make sure everybody get it straight. Moorish sovereignty versus sovereign citizens. To open up the show today, I'd like to read from our Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Drew Ali. Chapter 25, A Holy Covenant of the Asiatic Nation. We are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother.
That's right, capitalistic propaganda.
Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brother, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity. And prefer not a stranger before thine own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. Thank you so much. I'd like to thank you all for joining us and thank my team, because there has to be teamwork in everything that we do, and this is why unity is so important. I'd like to thank my guest, Sheik Lavelle, for coming here, and I'd like to read something also from the Holy Bible, King James Version.
I'm going to skip past
we are,
them
in
reading
fact,
scripture because it's
ants,
very dry, I
and
know.
be overseer or ruler, summer, and okay? How long will you apart like that need like an iron man? Holy Quran.
Same rule of the world. We give a hail and honors to all true and divine prophets. Truth to forward this evening. Complete spirit till an appointed time. To create who is he down.
Thank you so much for that, Grand Sheik. For those of you who are just joining us, I am your host, Assistant Grand Sheikess to the Grand Sheik of the Moorish Science Temple of America. My guest is Grand Sheik Lavelle of the Moorish Science Temple of America as a body politic.
My favorite part of this interview is that she's a terrible interviewer and she will constantly talk over him. It's very funny to me.
And we are talking about Moorish News. This is Moorish News. And we're discussing Moorish sovereignty versus sovereign citizens. And understand, we are sovereign to the land, and this is what makes us have that Moorish sovereignty.
Let's take a look at what is this document? It's a badly photocopied something that apparently claims that they don't have to obey the law. Okay.
Understand this document here that was filed by Noble Drew Ali, August 1st, 1928 at 2:52 p.m., which is held in Cook County Recorder Deeds Office. This document is, in fact, what has made us have sovereignty to this land.
Okay, so they claim that in the 1920s, which is when the Moorish citizen movement began, that someone that they claim is a prophet filed something with, did she say the Cook County government? I don't remember, whatever county that was. And that document, therefore, because it was accepted by the government, I assume they just filed it like any document that gets, sent to them to be filed. And they're claiming that because they accepted this document, that means that they are in fact sovereign, and that everything that the guy said, up to and including the fact that, the United States is secretly Morocco. I don't know what they think about the real Morocco, because Morocco's like a real place, which is actually where the Fez thing comes from. We looked this up once. But either way, they believe that America was once Morocco, and that because of that, they don't have to listen to the government.
And what we're going to talk about today is how that sovereignty to this land exists, and in fact, what was it that caused Noble Drew Ali to file this document? First of all, coming from Havana, Cuba, and this is the reason why we're celebrating our 89th convention. Moorish sovereignty versus sovereign citizen, an introduction to the Moorish Americans, also Moorish American Muslims, and the Moorish Science Temple of America as a body politic. Who are the Moors? And who is Prophet Noble Drew Ali? What is the Moorish Science Temple of America? These are some of the things we're going to be discussing, and the Grand Sheikh Laville is going to be going into. What are the birthrights of the Moorish Americans, etc.? And the Law of Nations and the Peace and Friendship Treaty between Morocco and the United States, 1836, which in fact still stands to this day. Creation of the Moorish Trust.
What they were referencing there is the United States. The first country to recognize the United States as its own country after the Declaration of Independence was Morocco. So the United States, or it was early on. I guess I don't know if they were the first ones. But anyway, they ended up signing this treaty with the actual Morocco, which is a country in sort of northwest Africa, if you're not familiar. And they had a treaty that was both a friendship treaty and also included stuff about shipping routes, because, of course, triangular trade was very much still a thing going on at the time. And it was in order to deal with, I think, some piracy or something. Basically, how they were going to handle the shipping routes between Morocco and the United States. Moorish citizens will take this document and say, see, they signed a treaty with Morocco. Why would they be signing a treaty with a country in northern Africa? Morocco must be the United States secretly. Now, I understand the way that I explained that doesn't make sense, but I'm explaining it the best I can because it doesn't make sense. So I can't explain it in a way that makes sense because it just doesn't, okay? You just gotta kind of accept that this is what they believe and move on from there.
Body politic in 1928. We're going to go into that creation and how it came about.
What do they think of the Native Americans? It depends. I've seen different opinions on it, but I've seen up to and including certain Moorish citizens believing that Native Americans are actually black. So I've seen like Moorish citizens wearing like stereotypical Native American headdresses and stuff because they believe that their cultures are one and the same. I've seen people who think they're like a slightly different group, but like they're related in some way. I think it just depends on who you're talking to.
We're going to talk a little bit about Moorish civics with the Illinois court systems. Grand Sheikh, Moorish civics within the Illinois court systems. We're going to also be covering that subject briefly. Now, Grand Sheikh, let's go into who are the Moors. We understand the Moorish Americans are the descendants of Moroccans born here in America. Indeed, we are Moors. Can you go into that briefly, Grand Sheikh, please?
Islam, according to all true and divine records, according to the human race, there is no such thing as Negroes, colored folks, black people, Ethiopians. When we talk about the secret or the great Masonic secret, what our people need to understand is that you who refer to yourself as so-called black, Negro, colored, African Americans, Coon, Shine, Afro-American, whatever you decide to call yourself next week, you are the big secret, you are the great secret, you are the hub that everything is connected to. the Moors are those who are indigenous to this land. Now, we were given this information in the public school system about the Indian being, or the Native American.
And that cherry tree line, George Washington. and
Well,
somebody
this is all
discovering-
part of the mythos. Now, that's not to say that there were not some of them did resemble and have the reddish skin and the long stringy hair, but for the most part, most of the people that were here indigenous to this land look just like you and I, even darker skin. And a lot of people that identify with being so-called Negroes, colored folks, black people, Ethiopians, they will tell you in 2 seconds, oh, my grandmother was Cherokee or Blackfoot.
Absolutely.
And these are the same people.
Okay, but that's because, like, a lot of people have somewhere in their family tree, you know, someone who married, like someone who's Native American, like, especially in certain areas of the country. My family has that. I'm like 1/32nd or 1/16th Native American. I don't identify as such because, you know, it's such a small amount. I'm a white person. But, like, a lot of people have that somewhere in their family tree. No one is, like, I don't know what you would even call it, racially pure, some sort of, like, you know, bullshit, because that kind of thing doesn't exist. Like, in the United States, if your family's been here for centuries, one way or another, there's a good chance somewhere in your family tree there might be some, you know, people who are Native American. That's not uncommon. That doesn't mean that, like, all, like, them claiming that because they know some people who are black and have some Native American in their family tree, claiming that that means that all black people are Native Americans would be like me saying I have, like, 1/16th Native American, you know, whatever, in my family tree, therefore all white people are Native American. Like, it makes no sense. That's not how it works. Didn't one of your ancestors buy a native woman for a fur pelt or something? There was an exchange of fur, yes. They were a fur trader, and there was, I don't know if it was like a straight up purchase or if it was like a dowry type situation, but either way, there were some furs traded, to my knowledge, in my family tree. That's what I'm talking about.
But they were not identified as Negroes, blacks, and colored. So that's why there was a cutoff. But you see, when you go into like a storyline like Roots, you'll see where they took the children and they separated them from their parents. So the traditions and the thoughts of the true history was not passed down.
So I also have a French-Canadian fur trader, too. They were a fur trader. I don't know if they were French. I'd have to look. My grandparents actually have, like a family history thing that's been written out that people in my family have been adding to for quite a while. I'd have to look at it. I've never actually taken a look. I just know what they've told me about it.
So this is the situation. You had the Kunta Kinte Toby syndrome.
And the whole story was...
That's a reference to Roots, which was a book and a movie in the TV movie in, like, the 70s. Starred LeVar Burton and then a bunch of other people. It's sort of an ensemble cast that basically tracked the real-life story of a family from being, you know, kidnapped and stolen from Africa into slavery, and then the family history up to the writer of the book, who basically tracked back the family lineage to then. It's very interesting.
Built on trying to get this young man to denounce his true name, take on another name, just like that situation with They Live, how this man nearly beat his friend to death to get him just to see the truth. And after beating him nearly to death, I'm sure they both had to go to the emergency room once he put the glasses on, and he discovered this whole new different world.
Oh, she's referencing... She's referencing the John Carpenter film, They Live, starring Rowdy Roddy Piper of wrestling fame. That's not a reference I expected, but yeah, sure.
And now he's online, and he can hardly function because of the truth, which has him so caught up. And you're talking about trying to put this information into the heads of millions and millions and millions of people, knowing that the Chicago Public Schools system...
in this video that's supposed to be a serious dissection of like their belief systems that are borderline like spiritual to them and they're connected to their religious beliefs, she referenced a movie where the main character goes into a bank with a shotgun and says, "I'm here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum." Beautiful.
System is not going to assist. What can you say and what do you say, Grand Sheik, to a nation of people now that has on every level obtained wealth from entertainment, sports, to you name it?
I say that if you on the international realm, it's just like a WWF match. It's all fakery. It's set up. And behind the scenes, what you have is a situation where you have a nation of people that are supposed to represent, and we're going to get into this later on, the sovereign aspect of the other part of the peace and friendship treaty between the U.S. and Morocco. So
okay, well,
since the parties represent, there has to be parties representative on both sides. We have seen the United States being represented properly, but what about the Moors?
Morocco, they were people, the government of Morocco were the people on that side of the agreement. Do they not know Morocco's like a real place in Africa? Like it's not like when they ask who were the, do they not know? Do they legitimately not know like Morocco exists? It's a real thing. You could go there if you have money. I understand that's, but like you can look. It's like a country. It's next to Algeria. Look at that. You can see Spain right there. It's guys.
There has to be, both sides have to be represented.
We have to have
properly
balance in this situation.
with regards to how things are supposed to work within the nations of the earth. So those who are considered as...
Have Jake and I done a review of They Live? No.
Negroes, black people, colored folks, they are not truly being received and respected as a nation of people. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how much you acquire. Money does not make the man. It is free national standards and power that makes a man in a nation. We saw a situation where Brother Bill Cosby accepted to, and he is
megastar.
Right, and he's most noteworthy for having plenty of finance.
Yes, he is, and all he wanted to do was purchase a team.
No, he wanted to purchase a media outlet.
A media outlet, which is what's needed for our people so greatly. And this man, not only did he lose,
and this is and because, so forget the fact that he had attained such a high status where he's a household name. The fact is that he had reached the level where he could, a ceiling where he could not go past that, because we're talking about the truthful identity and those who are the gatekeepers with regards to.
This came out in October 2017. When did Bill Cosby get accused? I know there've been rumors for a long time. June 2017 was Cosby's first trial. Okay, so no, at this point it was already like known that Cosby was a creep, and they're like, oh no. Oh, did they think he was set up because he's, black? Oh no.
Putting certain information out, going back to the world stage again.
1857 Dred Scott situation on this brother's head, Brother Bill Cosby, and before Brother Dick Gregory left here, he mentioned that that man, as wealthy and rich as he is, they took his son from him. Dick Gregory was not afraid to mention it. They took his son. We have a lot of great people out here that is not afraid to stand up and speak the truth. Our sister, brother, may he rest in peace, Ashay to Dick Gregory, because he spoke truth fearlessly. And also our sister, the ISIS paper, Dr.
How old is the video? This is from October 2017.
Dr. Cress Welsing.
And this is like their channel. It's not a re-upload.
She also spoke truth, the keys to the colors. She talked about how the fears of this white supremacy is so
No, it's not late 80s public access. She has a smartphone in her hand. This is from 2017. This was posted to YouTube.
petrified. They are so petrified of the fact that we are who we are that they will do anything to keep the truth and to block us, but not to step away from the fact that even so, Bill Cosby's name was dragged through the mud, and no one, as honorable as this man is, stood up. Well, I'm not going to say no one. He did have people to stand up. The sister from the show, she stood up, and a lot.
Okay, so they know Bill Cosby is being accused of what he was, you know. He was found guilty, right? If I remember correctly, he was. Either way, yeah, they're going to bat for Bill Cosby. Probably not the best move.
A lot of people felt him, but because we are all Moors, even though we are in our respective positions of wealth, we're supposed to come to one another's rescue, because that Holy Covenant said, if your brother is in trouble, assist him. So everyone out there in Hollywood that knows that Bill Cosby is a great man, he's a man of honor, he's a man standing up for truth, the brother should have had a whole lot of support in assisting Dick
Well, let's
Gregory.
get back to the secret, the big
Bill
secret.
Cosby, Dick Gregory,
Most of our
may he
people
rest in peace.
who are
He
notable.
lost his son
Hold
as a
on,
result
let's
of
get
that.
back to the subject matter, Sheikah.
The subject matter.
The
Let's not
subject
get
matter
away from
goes
the
back
subject
to the
matter.
secret that our people are being, the notion that our people are not Moors, or they don't know that they're Moors. Those people that are famous, most of these people are aware of the fact that we are Moors.
Oh,
okay?
yeah,
Your Jesse
in fact.
Jacksons, your Farrakhan's, and
Well, they made the
your,
decision.
Al Sharptons,
Well, they do
and
say so-called
people
black
that
now.
are
Give 'em
notable.
credit where credit is
People
due.
who have.
But we need you to
people
come with the
who
truth
are
and support
of
the
note
people now.
have this information.
Yes,
and
they
this is
do.
an information that is known by certain adepts within the realm of Freemasonry. So they are aware of the true identity of us as a people. And this is also part of the reason why they wear the fez in secrecy, you know, the Shriners and what have you.
Well, National
Many of
Treasures
these
is a
people,
movie.
hold on, let
and
me
a-
finish. Let me get to the point.
Go
Many
right
of
ahead.
these people,
Pardon me.
these Europeans, are sitting in our position, our seats as proxy, wearing fezzes with rhinestones on it. And the reason why they're able to wear that fez is because they've been given certain secrets to hold as proxy, but only as long as we maintain a certain ignorance. But now we're coming out of a long slumbering sleep. So this is why the identity becomes so much of an issue. But you were going back to let's get back to the point.
Okay, who is Noble Jew Ali? Because
Islam.
right now we understand that Prophet Noble Jew Ali is the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America as a body politic, and as such is one of the founding fathers. Okay, let's understand who the real founding fathers are, and let's give them their credit. Okay,
Islam.
because Marcus Garvey being another founding father of our Moorish nation.
He's
And we
our-
say founding father as I open up the floor to the Grand Sheik to express founding father, because we do understand that we do have other founding fathers, but you can only be a founding father of your nation. You understand, and we understand
Islam.
how to use that term.
The Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the love thought made manifest, is the day star from on high, who was brought to teach us the truth about our nationality and birthrights, also to
What makes
restore.
him a founding father?
Well,
Which
the
makes
fact
him
that the fact that you
She's a terrible interviewer. She just, like, talks over him before he gets his entire point out. And I understand you need to do that sometimes when you're, like, guiding a show. If you're a host, sometimes you need to cut someone off or move them on to a different point. But, like, every time, she is just talking over him. It's like, why are you asking him the question if you're not going to let him finish his thought?
we had to really literally be put back on the map. As Moorish Americans, this is a term that does not exist until the advent of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So this is part of the reason why the Prophet Noble Drew Ali made statements like it is with him being at the head, I'm paraphrasing, that we would be recognized. And he is also putting in work. He is also still issuing charters. So
And that is a charter.
when you
and
look
that's
up
proof.
properly what it is, and then according to research, study, and investigation, you will see that only he has the authority to issue charters. And it would have to be something that was signed by him. So basically, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali he represents the sovereign aspect of our nation. And he was also recognized as the Islamic prince at the Pan American Conference in Havana, Cuba, where he addressed the assemblage of the peoples and presenting the true and divine records, according to all true and divine records, that there is no Negroes, colored folks, black people, according to the human race. And the fact that the title to the vast estate had been claimed, and the only thing that makes, well, not the only thing, but one of the things that makes a government solvent as well as sovereign is having access to the land. So we have to understand part of the provisions that were left for us within the birthrights is having access
to the land.
And this so
gives
that
us
is a
that
certificate
access.
Okay. In terms of sovereignty, yes, being able to procure and hold land is something that is pretty important in being able to claim that you are a sovereign nation, right? The United States wouldn't be a very good nation if it couldn't, like, say, okay, this is property and this is, like, protected by the United States, right? I understand the thought, right? But writing a document out and filing it somewhere doesn't automatically give you rights to land just because in that document you claim that you have a right to that land. That's not how it works.
Well, see, we have to understand
title,
properly what that is. That is a certificate of title to our title
Absolutely.
deed, which is
The
found
title deed is in chapter 47.
Exactly.
And
within
both of
chapter
these together
47.
is what gives us title to the land, and this is what makes us have the sovereignty that we possess as a nation of people, which is what was exercised long before any of us was born, 1928. This is the reason this man was sent, our holy and divine prophet, with this information. This is one of the greatest reasons he was sent. This is the reason I joined the Moorish Science Temple of America. This is the birthright. This is the vast estate
let's be clear,
that was given to the Moors.
Because when you joined, you were not aware of the fact
Well,
that
I was
that
not aware
existed.
of this,
So
of course.
let
But
us
when
be
I
clear,
say
but it was the holy
this is
zeal.
nation pride.
This is the
This is
holy,
the
it was
pride
holy
that gave me
zeal
that zeal.
that caused you to join the Moorish Science Temple
and
of
cling
America.
to the principles, because this here is part of the nation pride.
That
having
represents a tangible
knowledge.
asset
My
to
god,
what
the talking over each other is getting so bad. This is like a Tim and Eric sketch gone really bad.
has been left and entrusted to us as a
as
nation
a vast
of people.
estate. Absolutely.
So
this is, what is the Moorish Science Temple of America? What is the Moorish Science Temple of America? And according to the rules and usages of such
the
Moorish Science Temple of America,
is a body
this is
politic that
a
was
religious
set up,
corporate
a religious corporate
body
politic
politic set up
as
as a
to operate
constitutional theocratic monarchy for the organization and nationalization of the Moorish people.
Like, why does she ask him if she just wants to say it? Just say it. If you want to say it, say it. Don't ask him to define it, and then you talk over him.
In addition to that, Grand Sheik, you can also discuss what else the Moorish Science Temple of America does, because it nationalizes our people. If you refer to yourself as Negro, Black, Colored, or African American, the Moorish Science Temple of America has been set up to return you your nationality, which is in fact Moorish American Muslim. We refer to ourselves as Moorish American. We are Moorish Muslims here in North America, and make no mistake, this is the present Moroccan Empire. We want to talk about now, Grand Sheik, what are the birthrights of the Moorish Americans, because you have, not only did the Prophet come to return us our vast estate, which includes other Muslims, and I'll be reading their names before the show is over. We also was returning our birthrights.
The birthrights, Islam, Sheikhs, the birthrights pertain to accessing the land.
Free access to the land and all of its uses and resources as a matter of right by virtue
He looks so annoyed. Like, all the nonsense aside, how frustrating must it be to be asked to come in to talk about this, and then she just talks over you for an hour?
being Moorish as well as being indigenous to the Americas.
Well, let's be clear, when we deal with the tangible assets, the Constitution for the United States of America makes a reference to inalienable rights. So those correspond to rights that cannot be transferred, bought, or sold away.
Okay.
And this is part of the reason why the Prophet Noble Ali made a reference to the Constitution for the United States of America being one of the greatest documents of all time. Because the Constitution was created to be a barrier to government. It was set up to be a permissive document to corporations and entities that had been receiving permission. So we have to understand, like, one of the individuals that they claim is a founding father, George Washington, he was actually listed on the record as paying tribute to the Sultan bin Abdullah at that time, Sultan bin Abdullah.
So it's possible, is it possible to pay tribute and be a founding father?
Well,
Yes, because what they're talking about is George Washington paying tribute to a foreign dignitary. That's not unreasonable. We see this still today with presidents, right? You know, a world leader comes, you pay tribute. You say, oh, thank you for coming. You know, oh, we brought you a gift, you know. Exchange gifts, have a nice dinner, talk about affairs of state. That's just like, you know, part of geopolitics is dealing with other foreign dignitaries. That doesn't make you not the president, doesn't make you not one of the founding fathers if you do that.
what I'm saying is it would be impossible for him to be a founding father proper because he comes from Europe or England.
That makes
British
a
property.
lot of sense.
No, it doesn't. What are you talking about? What?
A heavenly lot of sense.
So,
So what, I mean, how does being Moorish give?
That would be what makes him a founding father, right? He came and he's like, hey, guys, let's separate from England. And then a bunch of other rich people were like, yeah, let's do that. And then they did that. And then they called those people the founding fathers. What are you talking about?
You access to this land.
well, you know, being indigenous means that you come with the land.
Okay,
So
so
there's a
why
covenant.
are so many of the people poor? I'm sure
It's
they,
a legacy.
They're probably
It's a
wondering.
birthright. Well, see, this is how you access the birthrights, through having a proper identity that you are who you are. Because see, when we transferred rights to property, and that wasn't the way we dealt with things as far as how real estate
I'm skipping ahead.
Mortgage
would transfer
schemes that's
over.
going on here.
There- a lot of these individuals, or most of them, come from a European descent, and this is a rebellious attitude towards law and order. So they have taken the notion that they'll use the Constitution, or that the Constitution
Does
gives
not
them
apply to them?
license. No, that the Constitution gives them license to be sovereigns, or there's an ideology that the Constitution acknowledges so-called free white persons as sovereign individuals.
And we're
They're trying to draw a distinction at this point between themselves and sovereign citizens.
sovereignty coming with the land, and
But
that's a
let me
total
explain.
different thing.
Let me explain. We represent the people who originally gave them the authorization to operate as
And
a
now,
government, as
so
a
we let them
usufruct
in on our
form
land,
of
and
government.
now they're turned on us, calling us sovereign
Well,
citizens.
no. See, here's
These
the
are the
thing.
same people that we let in.
Here's the thing. The trick has been utilized as a tool of propaganda. This is why the prophet spoke about having our media and destroying the annual avalanche of lies.
Well,
Because
let's talk about the law of nations and the peace and friendship treaty, because that's going to tie into it, between Morocco and the United States of 1836. Because that Morocco treaty of 1836, that peace and friendship treaty still stands between Morocco and the United States of America.
Yes, again, the Morocco in Africa, not the imaginary Morocco that you think exists in North America.
And we are here per our ancestors. We are Moroccans, okay? Descendants of Moroccans. So that makes
and
us
born in
Moroccans.
Americas.
We're born in America. So how dare you call us sovereign citizens when we come with the land and we have sovereignty. So this needs to be explained to the courts here in North America so that they can respect the Moors, the true people which are indigenous to this land, which gave them permission. The Peace and Friendship Treaty between Morocco and the United States of 1836 still being enforced.
We had the ability to affect things and to, if, in other words, if you didn't pay taxes, then you didn't eat. You see, so a lot of what we're going through is a result of karmic activity, what results to us straying after strange gods who we knew nothing of. So we all didn't go to sleep at the same time. So we're all not going to wake up at the same time. So it becomes an issue. In order for us to get back to our Moorish sovereignty, our people have to become aware of what it actually is and where it actually lies and what it represents for us.
Which brings us to
so
Moorish civics.
let me go into something so that I can explain where we actually find sovereignty within our literature, so that people can
He's finally getting like, okay, let me explain.
be clear for
Please
once
read
and
that,
for all.
because,
This is the
that's
divine
necessary.
instructions from the Holy Prophet, the Holy Koran, the Moorish Science Temple of America. This is chapter 29, Magistrate and Subject. Now, check this out. This is to refute all and disclaim all of the naysayers and the propaganda. And it states, O thou, the favorite of heaven, whom the sons of men, thy equals, have agreed to raise to sovereign power and set as a ruler over themselves, consider the ends and the importance of their trust, far more than the dignity and height of thy station.
Thank you so much for that, Grand Sheik, and I wish it could stop and cease and desist from referring to us as sovereign citizens. It is a disrespect to us as a nation of people. It is a dishonor to our ancestors, and it should not take place, and we are working on that as an administrative. One of the jobs of our administration is to take it as far as we need to take it so it can be corrected in the court systems throughout the state first, and then take it to the UN, which is where things are discussed when it comes to religious discrimination. Yes,
According
sir.
to the laws of nation, it is your responsibility as a nation to step up to the plate.
Boys from
Okay, I've had enough of this. I know this is getting dry. I'm very sorry. I'll get to the bits in a sec. I want to show them the pyramid headgear, and then I'll move on and do some bits messages. Interesting, though. I do find it very interesting that still, you know, in this, the year of our Lord 2020, although this is in 2017, but they're still, you know, doing this stuff. I do wonder how they're able to hold on to this belief, but then again, we deal with flat earthers on Tinfoil Tuesday, so it's not that surprising. Let's take a look at the pyramid headgear. If you liked the headgear that she was wearing, let's take a look. You can buy fashionable pyramid headgear for yourself, okay? Let's take a look. Pyramids. For the low price of $99, you can get the cheapest adult-size pyramid. You can get a fire dome for $150. You can get a miniature pyradome for your kids for $49. You can get a silver power dome for $275. But that one's sold out, so you're going to have to get on back order. The gold one is $275 as well. It's the same price as the silver, and that's a great deal. The Chrysilla Dome is $1,250. The Chrysilla Dome. The Chrysilla Dome is a lightly diamond-dusted 9-inch titanium pyramid, the super headgear pyramid for the advanced. The Chrysilla Dome resonates with iron atom in the hemoglobin. It sets up a vibration that begins to unclog the delicate capillaries, which helps reverse aging. Oh no. You could get a vitamin one, okay? Vitamin D. The Vitamid. Oh, sorry, it's the Vitamid. The Vitamid! The Vitamid is a 12-inch steel household pyramid that is 24-karat gold-plated. The Vitamid is used to treat and energize water, other beverages, preserve fruits and vegetables longer than normal, and also promotes healthy plant growth. Place the Vitamid over fruits or vegetables to preserve them from going bad. You make a wise and intelligent investment anytime you spend the extra dollars it takes to get fresh organic fruits and vegetables, but sometimes we just don't eat them as fast as we'd hoped, or we're not sure how to properly and safely preserve our organic produce. Using Pyridine's pyramids, not only can you preserve your nutrient-dense and precious fruits and veggies, but you can put virtually any organic material under the pyramid to increase its pH level, alkalinity, like water and fruit juices. The fruit juices are also sweeter and more full of flavor too. Animals love it too. Ships in 2 to 5 business days. Buy now, pay later. Oh no. I assume you can get a loan. That's not all, though. Okay? They also have nuclear receptors. This one costs up to $5,500. This one's $700, and you can change the gem in it. I don't know what they mean by nuclear receptors, but they also sell quantum receptors, which I guess absorb time or something. Holographic projectors. They have standalone projectors, whatever that means. Golden ratio jewelry. This necklace is actually kind of cool, just like as a necklace, but it's the only not ugly piece of jewelry I've seen so far on the website. Gemstones, you can just buy pyramids. We already looked at the pyramids. Vitamins and superfood. Ooh, Pyridine packs. Oh, yeah. Give me this $129 pyramid pack, chat. So, I guess if you want to waste money, Pyridine is the woo-woo bullshit website for you. Funny. Anyway. Let me get to these bit messages. Daddy Sume with 20 bits. Hannah, you need to read this. Understand your observations have an impact. Hold on. Observer effect. In physics, the observer effect is the disturbance of an observed system by the act of observation. This is often the result of instruments that by necessity alter the state of what they measure in some manner. Oh, right, yeah. Like a Heisenberg uncertainty principle thing. You change the result by observing it. Gotcha. Major Dub with 54 bits. This is one of the more interesting conspiracy theories you've heard. Dr. Xanadu with 20 bits. Wait, the Moorish Society of America? I thought it was Morocco. It was. Now it's America. Omega Vegaman, thank you for following. Big Sky Pioneer with bits. So basically they're African-American versions of Mormons. I could see the comparison, sure. Dude Spanking Dudes. Since we're getting a Christmas-themed Chud Watch, can we also get a Christmas-themed Tinfoil Tuesday? I can help compile a YouTube playlist. Also, Moorish Citizens and Black Sovereign Citizens scare me, not because I'm scared of black people, but because most of the police force is so racist they'll just kill them or justify violence against them. I just get on edge when a Moorish citizen meets a cop and afraid the cop is a second away from assaulting them. Yeah, I can understand that. And yeah, we can probably do if we can find enough tinfoil stuff for Christmas. Sure. Tatsuyo Dragneil with 20 bits. How would that make sense, though? If some of them believe Native Americans are black, why do they think we acknowledge Native Americans being from here but African Americans from Africa? No idea. I don't know why they think there's that distinction. A Colston in 20 bits. Hannah's ancestor was Toussaint Charbonneau. I think I mispronounced that. Ghetto Kanya with 100 bits. My husband's racist grandpa learned that he was 1% South African, and his family bought him a subscription to Ebony to clown him. It's kind of funny. Daddy Sume with 20 bits. They believe it's fake and made up. That's part of the anti-Semitic conspiracy. Dr. Xanadu with 20 bits. Moorish society doesn't exist because of idiocracy, or doesn't exist in idiocracy. Terry Crews is the president of America, not Morocco. The Undercover Beast with bits. Is she wearing a pyramid on her head? Illuminati confirmed. Big Sky Pioneer with 20 bits. I'm just as entertained by watching Hannah's face as trying to comprehend what the hell these two are talking about. Daddy Sume with 20 bits. They clearly have different beliefs. The Undercover Beast with 80 bits. Yo, I'm really happy for you, and I'm going to let you finish. But the Sultan was the best founding father of all time. Arakaria 24 with 20 bits. The term Moor is related to the words Maris and Mauritania from Latin in ancient Rome. They were using these terms in reference to North Africa 2,000 years before anyone knew of America. This is ridiculous. Scotty the Scot with 100 bits. Can we go fund a pyramid hat for Hannah? Go for it. And then Not That Fragile with 100 bits. Vaguely related, Kirk Cameron is hosting another maskless Christmas caroling event at the mall down the street from my house because the government doesn't have the right to tell us what to wear. Yikes. That's a big yikes. Good job, Kirk Cameron. You're nailing it as always. Oopsie, that's not what I meant to do. Hold on. Okay, let's see which one of these I'm doing next. How about this? I appreciate a person who gets visuals. They could have done a PowerPoint, but they said no, that's not personal enough. I'm going to do this elementary school style. We're going to get some markers and some little cards, and I'm going to show you how to be a sovereign citizen with these cards. So let's see what they have to say. This video is entitled, Are You a Sovereign Citizen, aka a Human Being?
Howdy folks, My Two Thoughts channel here. Quick update. I'll put a video in the description of what I'm talking about. Just gonna rehash this phraseology of sovereign citizen. But before I begin, financial book on Amazon Kindle. Hope it's a help to you and that you learn something out of it. And
if you're ever concerned about your books not being good enough to publish on Amazon, bear in mind people like this do self-published books all the time. You're fine. You're valid. Publish that book.
that you have a better financial life, because that's what we all could use. Okay, back to this sovereign citizen phrase that a handful of people are, basically misusing and abusing and taking advantage of others in the process of basically hiding behind this phraseology of sovereign citizen.
Hold on, that little card said like communism on it, and I gotta
Phraseology of hiding.
It says communism, socialism, Marxism, and I think other, which could be any number of things. So apparently communists, socialists, Marxists, and others are using the term sovereign citizen incorrectly. So let's find out what we're doing wrong.
Behind this phraseology of sovereign citizen. So, let's go over this again. Okay, that way we're all on the same page. Okay, we're human beings. Our fellow man, our fellow human beings, are our neighbors.
Some of them, yeah, in a metaphorical sense, certainly.
Okay, we're all unique, equal. Shouldn't have to fight for equality. We're all equal. Everyone has the same inherent rights, the same authority and jurisdiction. No one is above another.
Ideally, the rule of law should exist to make sure people are following rules equally and that people are treated equally under the law. Doesn't tend to work that way, unfortunately, if you have a lot of money. But yeah, in theory, I guess I understand what you're saying.
No one is beneath another. And in that, as being human beings in this world, we are sovereign to each other.
No, we're not. Sovereign has a very specific meaning. It does not apply to individuals.
Okay? So, in this, looks like, some of our neighbors have decided to misuse and abuse this phraseology here, and they also hide behind it. They hide behind it and use this phraseology as an excuse. Okay?
I appreciate that he's putting these pieces of paper on a bigger piece of paper, and he did little, like, borders, so he knew where to put that for the camera. That's nice.
So I came across this guy's video that I'll post up so you can look at it. That way you know what I'm talking about. But I guess in Washington, D.C., or not Washington, D.C., Washington State, I guess you got a handful of knuckleheads over there that I guess go by the name of Moorish sovereign citizens. And they basically hide behind that phraseology of sovereign citizen.
This is definitely Mr. Plinkett. It sounds like it. That's what I was trying to be like, who does this sound like? It sounds like Mr. Plinkett, but a real guy. Oh no. This is the worst sovereign citizen video since my son.
And in so doing, they basically do bad things to their fellow man and neighbors. Try and commandeer and hijack their property and stuff.
Okay, so what he's talking about there is we already talked about Moorish citizens today, so you should know roughly what those are. There is a group somewhere in the country, I think he said Washington State, so I assume that's probably where they are, that is a group of Moorish citizens that have taken to commandeering people's property, and by that I mean they will break into people's houses while they're on vacation, and then when the people get home from vacation, they'll be like, we're Moorish citizens. This house is our property. We're taking our property back because the land belongs to us. Doesn't work out for them, as you might imagine. There are squatter issues sometimes, depending on the amount of time that they've been squatting in the house. But, yeah, it's a whole thing. We'll have to cover that another day.
Okay, so...
Ooh, hype train. Nice.
We got these bad actors out there hiding...
Hi, kitty cat.
Using and abusing and hiding behind phraseology of sovereign citizen. And then... at the same time, that puts that in a bad light for the rest of us.
Regardless of Moorish citizens being called sovereign citizens, and I understand why, because there's a lot of crossover between the two groups in terms of beliefs. Belief that the law doesn't apply to you, belief that you need to consent for the government to be able to have control over you. All incorrect, but there's a lot of crossover on those Venn diagrams, so that's why. But even if you took Moorish citizens out of the equation, sovereign citizens make themselves look bad. It's not the fault of Moorish citizens that sovereign citizens are bad.
So, in case you don't know it, you as a human being are a sovereign human being. You have sovereignty.
No, you don't. You do not. Individuals are not sovereign. You live in a country, you live in a state, you live in a city. You are under the jurisdiction of these various governments. You are not sovereign. The United States is sovereign, right? You're not a country. You don't have an army to protect or defend or attack. You are not sovereign. You are an individual.
You are a sovereign citizen. Okay, that's basically...
That's a good way to put it, yeah. You have bodily autonomy. You don't have sovereignty. These are different things, yeah.
That's one of our makeups as a human being. We are sovereign. But
Monarchs are sovereign. Yeah, that's a different thing, though, because they effectively are the state. If you're an absolute monarch, you know what I mean? I would argue even the, like, Queen of England, even though, you know, you might call her a sovereign, she's not really sovereign because there are checks on her power. But if you're, like, an absolute monarch or you're a dictator, then you could arguably be considered sovereign because the power of the state is consolidated behind you as an individual. But, you know, that's not as common today as it has been in the past. But I'm saying as a citizen, right? As a citizen of a country, you're not sovereign.
you know, like some of the mentioned earlier, some of the people here then that
Careful,
take
kitty,
advantage
with
of that
wire. You know what you always do.
and misuse it and abuse it and then make it look bad.
Camera's gonna get fucked up, I bet, because she's going behind the
Like,
computer.
To some people, the phraseology, you know, appears to be bad to some people, and look, they frown upon it because you got a bunch of people that, you know, that are committing bad things and giving, you know, what an actual sovereign citizen or human being is a bad rap. So, if you don't know, or if you've heard of this, maybe some of you have heard of this and you're like, yeah, this sounds like a bad rap. But the fact is, like I said, we're all sovereign to each other. And unfortunately, some of our neighbors, like I said, are taking advantage of that. Okay, and the fact is,
This is the least eloquent sovereign citizen I've ever heard talk, and that's saying something, because they're usually pretty ineloquent when trying to discuss their topics, but he's just going in circles and not saying anything.
just because you're a sovereign, I'm sovereign, okay, doesn't mean, like these handful of people, doesn't mean that you're endowed with some type of mystical or mythic, you know, extra rights or authority or jurisdiction above the rest of us, and that you can just do whatever you want to your fellow man, to your neighbors. Okay? No such thing. I'm a sovereign.
No, you're not!
Okay? That doesn't mean that I can just, you know, trample my fellow man, my neighbors, underfoot or take advantage of any of my neighbors. That's not what being sovereign is. Okay?
I still don't understand what the circles are for.
But these handful of people are doing that, doing just that. They're taking advantage, hiding behind and using and misusing the phraseology of sovereign citizen. So I'll put that video link up. Just thought I'd do an update on this. So until then, take care.
Jesus Christ, that one was painful. I'm sorry. Once I started that one, I really wanted to finish it, but that was awful. That was so bad. Oh god, he's got a whole... Oh no. He's got a whole thing. I'm gonna... Oh no. Oh god. Globe Earth versus Flat Earth. Oh no, is this guy a Flat Earther too?
Howdy folks, My Two Thoughts channel here. So I think this would be a idea here. I've had so unlike
There's nothing funny about the tools.
you know, speak, have comments, cause
Jesus Christ. I'm gonna save this guy because, which is weird because he's not good. He's not entertaining, but he's got so much. Maybe I'll find a better one sometime to do. Yeah, I won't play you another one. I won't subject you to that right now. CA Corner with 20 bits. This speech pattern is definitely not doing it for me. Old enough to know, more better with 100 bits. The clean, lightly polished nails on the hand of the presenter just do not match his voice, and it's killing me. The Undercover Beast with 100 bits. It's phraseology, not phraseology. The Undercover Beast with another 70 bits. Yes, I'm being petty. Captain Rose with 20 bits. Hannah, I injected liquid from Cyberpunk 2077 into my dog. What? Casual Snark with 20 bits. Do you suppose the pages in his book are filled with the same high-quality pages in this video? I would hope so. Scotty the Scot with 100 bits. Can you imagine how long this drive-thru order must take? I would like to order a fry and another fry. In so doing, basically, in reference, fries. Big Sky Pioneer with 50 bits. No shade, but I think this guy has a cleft palate. Sovereign citizenship doesn't usually work out well when the law gets involved. I have no idea. And then Dear I with $1. Hey, you're an inspiration and very pretty. Oh, thank you. That's sweet. Anyway, move on to another thing. Let's go with this guy. This is the guy that, if you'll remember, we watched some weeks ago. He's been stopped by the police multiple times. He's been arrested for driving without a license. He was arrested, or rather, sorry, not arrested. He wasn't arrested. He was stopped multiple times in Mexico City while he was driving without a license. He got away with it because of the language barrier, and the police clearly didn't want to deal with, you know, arresting an American. So anyway, here he is talking, I think he's just responding to comments in some of his previous videos. This is from December 5th, so about 15 days ago.
Hey guys, I want to do a teaching that stems from some of the comments I got in my video where I got pulled off the road. I had 6 armed gunmen surrounding me. I was abducted. My property was stolen. I was put in chains and fetters. I was locked in.
Wow, are you okay, Kitty? Kitty's being very loud.
In a cage. They extorted money from me. I got a lot of comments. I got I think 1,000 comments. 99% of them are all negative. People, very nice people, wishing I had gotten tased, wishing my kids would get...
I'm gonna go check on the kitty real quick. One sec, sorry. Kitty's good.
Stolen.
She's just playing, but she was being loud, so I was just concerned.
From me, cursing me, calling me names. These are just beautiful people, you know, and they all support the tyrant thugs that did this to me. So let that be a testimony.
The tyrant thugs? You were driving without a driver's license with your kid in the car, and then you resisted arrest.
So this teaching, I've been quoted a lot of scriptures. Romans 13:1, Hebrews 13:7. So I've been quoted a lot of scriptures about how I'm supposed to obey them, and they're the government.
Right, you're supposed to obey the government. Even Jesus is like, render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's, which is in regard to taxes specifically, but I would also interpret that more broadly to, hey, while you're on earth, you need to obey the law. Like Jesus even said, slaves obey your masters, which is morally questionable, but you could also apply that more generally to, hey, there are power structures here on earth, you need to, like, go along with them, and then when you die, you'll go to heaven or whatever, right? I don't necessarily agree with the entirety of that thought, especially the slaves thing, but if we're not interpreting it literally, although I think you should, I think Jesus literally meant slaves, but like, you know, Jesus was against a lot of power structures, but not all of them. He wasn't saying, like, seize the means of production and throw off your shackles, right? A lot of the time he was like, okay, you still need to participate in society. You should just do so in a kind way.
And the problem is these evil people are quoting the scripture. They're sinners. They have no understanding of the scriptures. The scriptures are not written so sinners can understand it. I guarantee that.
That's convenient. That way, anytime someone has an interpretation of the scripture that you disagree with, you just label them as a sinner and automatically get to throw out their interpretation. Convenient.
It's only written so men of God can understand it. Holy, righteous men and women of God, which is not a lot of people. I've also had a couple pastors in the past, small home fellowship pastors, one in Cape Coral by the name of Israel Flag, another one in...
You know a pastor named Israel Flag? It's like a comic book character name.
The Tampa area. His name was Joel Walters, and they both gave me bad false teachings on these same scriptures, similar to what the sinners are doing in my comment section.
Wait, so these pastors are also sinners? Interesting.
Israel Flag in Cape Coral gave me a teaching that we're supposed to obey him. He has rule over us. And he quoted Hebrews 13:7 and 13:17 and 13:24. I've known a slew of other so-called Christians that have quoted the same scriptures to me and say that I'm not obeying those that have rule over me. I'm not subjecting myself to the authority. So anyways, I wanted to go ahead and do that. I'll also touch on Romans 13:1. So the good thing is most of the scriptures are going to come out of chapter 13. Hebrews 13, Romans 13. I am going to go to the Hebrews 1 and 2 also. So let's start out with Hebrews 13:7. I'm going to go ahead and read this verbatim. I'm going to pause in between scriptures so as to save time. So let's see here. Hebrews 13:7. It starts out. It says, remember them that have the rule over you, who have spoken unto you the word of God. So right off the bat, has the government spoken unto us the word of God? Have the police officers spoken unto us the word of God? No, absolutely not. They have not. Oh, by the way, I'm reading from the King James Version of the Bible. I don't believe the Bible is the Word of God. I believe Jesus is the Word of God. I believe the Bible contains the Holy Scriptures of God. I don't believe there's a single mistake in here. I believe the mistake is on our end. If we see something that's a flaw, I don't believe it's the Bible. So, for instance, the word government. I believe we use the word government in the wrong term. I don't believe the Bible does. When the interpreters were interpreting the Bible, translating the Bible, maybe that's the best description of a word they could find, because I don't read Hebrew and I don't read Greek. So anyways, let's go ahead and talk about Hebrews 13:7. It says, remember them that have the rule over you, who have spoken unto you the word of God. So those that have, pastors love this because they get to read this to their congregation and say, look at me, I'm speaking the word of God to you. Therefore, I have rule over you. Okay? And they really like it because if you go to Hebrews 13:17, it then says, not just remember them, it says obey them that have the rule over you. And then in 24, it says salute them that have the rule over you. I wonder if there's any churches out there that make their congregants salute the pastor. I bet you there are. So 13:17 in Hebrew says, obey them that have rule over you. Pastors, once again, they love this because they get to claim this means they have the rule over you. They're in authority over you. They teach this to their congregants. And I've had their congregants come to me and say, you are just proud, or you are just, you're rebellious. You don't want anyone to have rule over you. That's not true. I just don't want somebody who's not supposed to have rule over me.
You don't think anyone should have rule over you, though. That's the problem. Person 1170, thank you for following.
And it certainly isn't the pastors. But in order to find out what 13:7 is talking about, we have to find out who's spoken the word of God. Okay? In order to find that, we have to comb through the whole Bible pretty much. But, you know, understanding God's not a God who wants confusion. He's not a God of confusion.
Is he just going to read
rule
scripture this whole time?
If it was at the first began to be spoken,
I ain't here for that shit.
At least in the Bible, let every soul be flaming.
Alright, F that. I'm bailing out of this video. In recompense for that terrible video, here's another video of him being stopped at a roadblock.
Free traveler, moving on. Free traveler, moving on. Moving on, free traveler. No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
Does he think that's how it works? Does he think life is like a cheat code? And he can just say, free traveler, moving on. And the cop's like, dang it, he knew the secret password. We gotta let him through.
No, 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 no. Free man. Free man. Free man. Traveler. Free man.
Oh, is this another one from a different country? It sounded like they weren't speaking English. Yeah, Spanish. Is he in Mexico again? Oh, God.
Man, traveler.
Why does he keep going to Mexico and breaking the law?
Moving on. Moving on. Free man traveler. No, no, no. Free man traveler. Moving on. No, 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 no. Free man. No slave. No slave. Free. No slave. Moving. Move out of my way. Let me go. No, no, no. Free. Moving. Let me go. I'm free. Move on. No. You can't tell me what to put on my face. No. I don't put that on my face.
This guy's gonna end up in, like, a Mexican prison. It's gonna be bad.
I'm not putting it on my face. Free man. Moving on. Moving on. No, 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 no. Moving on. No, 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 no. No, no, no. No, no. Get your boss. Get your boss. Get your boss, please.
Does he go to Mexico just to argue with the police? Because there's plenty of police in the United States he could argue with. Why? Especially considering he doesn't speak Spanish, right? I don't speak Spanish either, but I also am not going to Mexico regularly to antagonize the police force. Just seems so... Why? Why is this his prerogative?
You speak English? I need a boss. Boss, no, I'm going this way. I need a boss. No, I'm going this way. I need a boss. Get your supervisor. I need a supervisor.
Wow, did you catch that, kitty? Yay! She caught her toy, and she's meowing because she wants us to be proud.
Do you speak English?
No.
I'm moving this way. This is the way I'm going. I need you guys to move out of my way so I can go. I'm a free man. I'm not a slave. No, I'm going this way. I'm not going that way. This is the way I'm going. I'm going on the public road this way. No, 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 this way. No, this way. No, see, this way. No, this way. No, this way. Don't get into my car. No, 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 mi property.
Aquí no es tu propiedad.
This is me property.
Pero estás en la calle, vía pública.
This is my, yeah, publica. No, you're not my slave. You don't know me. No, no, I'm free. I'm free. Let me go.
¿Usted entiende un poco de español?
She won't speak to you.
Explíquele nada más
No.
que se puede orillar.
No, 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 no. I'm going this way. I need your boss. Give me your supervisor.
Es que no le entiendo nada. No se quiere importar por la boca.
Minding my own business.
¿Algún compañero de los de PC no habla inglés?
Give me your supervisor, por favor. Supervisor. Your boss. Supervisor. Let me see your head honcho. English.
No, dile que no. No hablamos inglés.
Your boss. Your boss. No you. Your boss. Supervisor.
Sí te entiendo.
Your boss, man.
He's used Google Translate before. Why doesn't he pull out a... I assume at this point he probably enjoys the language barrier, because if he's talking to them in a way that they both understand, they can easily be like, no, you're wrong, what are you doing? But the confusion caused by the language barrier gives him, you know, I don't know if I'd say an upper hand, but it would certainly at least confuse the authorities to the extent that they might want to just tell him to move on so they don't have to deal with this. They got better things to do. I think he enjoys that. It's pretty sick.
Your supervisor.
Pero no hay ahorita.
I'm traveling free. This is the way I'm going. I'm not going that way. Let me go. Let me go free. I'm a free man. I'm not a slave. Let me go free. Libro. Libro. Hermano. Free.
Solamente le van a tomar su temperatura.
No, I'm free. I want to go this way. This is the way I'm going. I'm free man. See, I'm not gonna cover my face. I'm gonna die.
What an asshole. What an absolute jerk.
We're going to make sure we got the name and badge number. Well, I'm a separate. I get the.
Okay, this is part 2.
So frustrating. Sarasota Costco fails the Mark of the Beast test. Oh no.
And now?
You are required to have a mask inside Costco.
You're joking though. I can't see your face. It looks like you're probably smiling under
No,
there.
I'm not smiling, sir. This is a serious matter.
Why is it serious?
Because there are health concerns for everybody. It's not.
How's
just
it a health
you.
concern?
This gentleman could have health issues.
So he's got a mask on. He's fine. He's got a mask
Yes,
on.
and you might have something that you could spread.
I might. So what? Am I like a criminal because I might?
No, I'm asking you to wear it for 30 seconds to swap out your battery.
And I'm telling you, I don't wear one. I'm telling you, I don't wear one.
Anybody inside Costco is required.
Why is that?
Sir?
Why is that? I'm a member. I'm a paying member. I would just like to get my new batteries.
If you do not want to wear a mask while inside, we can refund your membership.
I would just like to get my batteries. How about refunding my batteries? Can you do that real quick?
If you have a mask, I'd be more than happy to, sir.
Oh, come on, man. You're
Otherwise, you can
joking.
leave your batteries out here, and I will take care of you outside. where
Then
they're
let's
not.
do that.
That's fine.
Okay, cool. The batteries are over there.
What
Here's my
absolute fucking jackass.
You can hang out right here.
Thank you. Oh, it's private. I don't. Tim?
Yes, you got it.
So this is Tim. He's the manager at the Sarasota Costco.
I'm not giving you
I'm
permission
doing a
to
YouTube.
videotape
I'm doing a
me,
YouTube
so
video.
I'm not giving you permission to videotape
Okay, you don't
me,
have
so.
to. I'm doing a YouTube.
I'm
A
moving
refund on
without
my
a mask.
membership too.
$29.98 for your.
They think you're.
What an asshole. A riddle for all you sun god worshippers.
Here's a riddle for you. How is it that the apostles were able to gather and assemble on the first day of the week, but not on Sunday, or as I like to call it, Sun God Day? Again, the question is, how is it that the Apostle Paul was able to meet, gather, and assemble with the other apostles on the first day of the week, but not on Sunday, which I call Sun God Day?
Is he conflating the Sabbath with Sunday? Because the Sabbath used to mean Saturday, not Sunday. Does he think that when they say the Sabbath, they meant Sunday? because it didn't. The Sabbath used to be on Saturday. Okay, that's enough of this guy for today. I'm sure we'll deal with him again, but... Oh no, he's got a video called Climate Change Debunked. And it's 2 minutes long. Okay. Okay, let's see what this one is. It's another one where he's just talking at the camera. Different guy. Oh, I should probably get to... There's a couple bids messages. Dr. Xanadu. Oh, yay. Sovereign citizens in cars are my favorite. Ashiboo74 with 20 bits. Imagine going to another country and demanding they speak your language. Yeah, it's frustrating. Logarth with 20 bits. Florida is a 2-party consent state. Oh, interesting. I didn't even know he was in Florida.
Happy Sunday. Good morning, Sovereigns. As promised, this video is going to be about the Road Traffic Management Act. I'm going to explain about drivers and public modes of conveyance, not a vehicle, travellers, and then vehicles. Some of you have asked if you need a driving licence, MOT, tax, insurance for your cars because you are a free man, natural man, travelling person, and therefore you do not need these documents. You're asking if you can get rid of these documents or stop paying for them. Well, I'll tell you a story, a hypothetical story. I'll create a scenario and I'll tell you what would happen in real life, what I would do, how I would do it, and I'll argue the points for and against that, and we'll have a discussion threads underneath on the YouTube channel or in the Sovereign Solicitors group. So, David's driving along a road. I'm doing within the speed limit. Next thing I see, there's a police car behind me and the sirens are sounding and the lights are flashing, the blues and twos are on. So this means that there's an emergency for the police to put on the sirens and for also to put on the lights. They're normally going off on an emergency. They've been called to attend. If they do not pass you and they sit behind you with the lights on and the sirens, you would indicate left and pull over to the side of the road, the hard shoulder if you're on the motorway. Maybe there's something wrong with your vehicle. Maybe the police are going to pull you up and advise you that maybe you've got a flat tyre. Who knows until they get here.
I'd think you would know if you had a flat tire. I've had multiple flat tires in my life. It's always very evident. You can feel it. But okay, sure, let's pretend he said tail light, something that you might not know.
So, with that said, if you do get pulled up and they flash the lights and use the siren, this is only to be used in an emergency, to pull you over to tell you there's a light out, or there's an alleged offence with your vehicle.
Sure, and if your car isn't registered, or if they have suspicion that you've done something, if they see you swerving erratically, or if you fail to signal and that's illegal in where you live, it is in most places, then yeah, they can pull you over. They can use the lights. How else are they going to signal you to pull over?
Which doesn't conform to the Road Traffic Act, then this is not an emergency. So number one, you'd question why they're using their lights and sirens to pull you over. So you would stop your vehicle, pull over to the left, lock your doors, open the window about this much, and start filming them with the camera. The police are working in a public office, so anybody that's in a public office is allowed to be filmed. So make sure you film all of the conversation and everything that happens. So they proceed to walk up to your car. You've locked the doors, you've opened the window that much, and you would then say, "Good evening, good morning, officer, is there a problem?" And let him tell you or her tell you what the problem is. Let's say they've pulled me up to tell me one of my rear light units is not working, the side marker lamp for the rear of my car. 6 o'clock at night, it's a dark evening, it's raining, poor visibility, so they're advising me to tell me that they've pulled me up to let me know there's a light out. This would be under section 163, 4 or 5 of the Road Traffic Act. You'll have to familiarise yourself with this document. I'm not going to go through it all now. I have given it the once over. It's a massive document, but in there, this is the source of the information. It will tell you about drivers and drivers having the legal requirement for a driving licence, tax on the vehicle and an MOT. As a driver, in the eyes of the law, in the Black's Law 9th revision edition of...
Wait, why is he quoting Black's Law? Black's Law dictionary is, I mean, maybe they do a UK edition too. I guess I don't know. But Black's Law that I'm aware of is about an American law. Let me see what an MOT is. MOT, vehicle. I don't know if I'll be able to see this. MOT test. Annual test of vehicle safety. Oh, it's like, okay. Like a emissions test in it. Okay, gotcha. Didn't know that's what it was called in the UK.
The legal dictionary, which is the legalese language we go on about, that would...
Let me see if Black's Law has a UK edition. Black's Law Dictionary UK. As well as British law to a certain extent. That's not super helpful to me. Okay.
Say that if driver is required under legal requirements to have the three mentioned finances, MOT, insurance and tax, because in the eyes of the law, a driver is someone who is working for the government or is paid to drive and is committing commerce on the Queen's Highway. So they pull me up, and the first question the police ask us is normally, are you the driver of this vehicle? To which I would reply, no, I am not the driver of this vehicle. I am a traveller.
He said the thing!
Officer. I would then stop the conversation and say, am I under arrest? Has the law been broken? Is there an emergency? And are you under your oath today? And he would reply to these questions and probably tell me, yes, there is an issue of which they'd like to talk to me about. Maybe it's a roadside spot check, traffic spot check, to check my details and the integrity of the car. I would then say, okay, well, if for you to use your lights and to pull me over and to stop me, you must suspect a law has been broken. And he would say, yeah, there's a...
Okay, this one's boring. I'm sorry I've had so many boring videos in a row. I'll try and get a more exciting one. He's just literally describing how sovereign citizen interactions go. How's this? What's this one?
License plate on the vehicle right now? What do you have here?
That is a questionnaire with the notification that I am a lawful traveler, sir.
I can already hear you, sir.
Is there an emergency I can assist you with?
Well, no, sir. The reason I'm contacting
well, the reason
you don't have a license plate as you're required to have.
I have a statement that I am not for hire. If you read that and understand, do you understand that I am not for hire?
Okay.
Number one, I am not a commercial driver. Do you understand this?
I understand.
All right. Therefore, by law, I am not required in my recreational vehicle to have a license or registration.
And all that information's on this stuff that you
Yes, sir, it is.
Well,
there's a
I'll
question.
definitely oblige you, and I'll take a look at that stuff. But do you have a driver's license or anything?
No, sir, I don't have any ID with me at all.
You don't? Okay.
I'm not required by law to carry ID.
That's just a bad idea in general. Like, even if you don't want a driver's license, which if you're driving a car on public roads is illegal, but I'm not a cop, I'm not going to tell you what to do. Get a driver's license. You should. But, like, you should have some form of ID on you. What if you, like, die somewhere and they need to identify your body? They could maybe do dental records if you've been to the dentist recently, but I don't know. I think it'd probably be better to have some ID on you just in case. Maybe that's a bit morbid, but that's my thought. Like, if I get in a car accident, you know? I want people to be able to identify who they need to contact if that were to happen.
Okay. You aware in the state of Oregon, if you're driving a motor vehicle on the highway, you're required to carry and present your driver's license?
I'm not driving a motor vehicle,
okay.
sir.
Well, I won't argue that point with you. I understand your point of view on those
I'm
kinds
traveling.
of things. Okay? What I do is I enforce the Oregon laws. Okay, so I am required to ask you for that stuff, and you're required to provide that stuff. But since you don't have that on you, would you mind providing me with your name and date of birth?
No, sir, my name is I am.
Your name is I am. Okay, well that's going to be a problem for me.
Yes, it is, because I don't own a name. The government issues names for people, but I was not born with a name. I do not own a name.
So. Well, do you have a name that you go by besides I am?
I do not, sir.
Do you have a name that you were given when you were born?
I do, but I'm not going to. If a question, is it true that anything I say can and will be used against me in the court of law?
Well, right now, sir, the only crime that you could potentially be committing would be fail to carry and present your driver's license. And here's the deal. As long as I can ID you, I don't want to go that route if we can. So a name and date of birth work for me, just so I can verify that you have a valid driver's license and privileges in the state of Oregon.
The only
The problem is if you don't, then in the eyes of the state of Oregon, you are committing a crime. And at which point, then I will read you your Miranda rights and make sure that you are aware of what they are.
I will also read yours if you read in there. There are subjects that you are opening.
You can't read me my Miranda rights. I'll read you your Miranda rights. That's a first.
Yourself up to, sir. I don't believe you want to get involved
As I stated, I would oblige you on that. I'll take a look at this.
Please do, sir.
But I'd like this to kind of be a two-way street where we can work together on this.
I would
when
too,
I contact somebody, I like to know who I'm talking to. I obviously know that your name is not I am, okay? So I'm not at liberty to give you my name, and I refuse on the grounds that tends to incriminate me. Okay. Well, here's what I'll do then, sir, because I have explained to you that failing to carry and present a driver's license in the state of Oregon is a crime. So I'm going to read you your rights so that you understand your rights, okay? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while being questioned. You have the right to hire a lawyer. One will be appointed to represent you before being questioned if you wish. If you do get a statement, you can stop talking anytime you wish. Do you understand those rights?
No, sir, I do not understand. No, sir, I do not understand.
Okay.
I do not.
So, let me ask you
I do not consent. I do not comply.
Okay.
I am a free citizen traveling on the highways.
Okay.
Thank you. It's all in there. The laws are in there, the Supreme Court laws and everything, and it's Oregon laws. Let's see, what else have we got here? Oh God, I have got things for days. First off, here is something you should read.
Wait, I can't hear, sir. What?
That's something you should read right off of the bat.
So what is this that you're handing me?
It is Oregon law.
Okay. And what is this referring to?
To my vehicle, and
all that?
yes, sir. It's all there.
Okay. Well, so I'm trying to make this as simple as we can.
So am I, sir. Am I being detained?
So. Okay.
Am I being detained?
I'm sorry. Again, you're gonna have to.
Am I being detained?
Right now, you are, sir.
Then
I can't hear you.
Then I refuse to make any further statements based on the grounds that it might tend to incriminate.
I'm going to give you this back because I don't need this, okay?
Let's see, is that...
So what I'm asking you to do is go ahead and step out of the vehicle, okay? At this point, you are under arrest for failing to carry and present a driver's license, okay? So listen to me very carefully.
You're trespassing, sir.
If you do anything other than what I say, then I'm going to take that as that you're resisting arrest. Do you understand?
You're trespassing,
Do you understand
sir.
what I'm saying?
No, sir, I do not.
Okay,
You're
at
trespassing.
this point, you're under arrest. Do you understand?
You're trespassing,
okay.
Sir. Call my lawyer.
That's fine. I need you to take your seatbelt off and step out of the vehicle.
Yeah, that sounds about right. This one claims graphic content, although they put this on a lot of the videos, even though it's not necessarily graphic. Yeah, he's just teaching.
Okay, and going back and looking at that.
That audio's terrible, though. I cannot abide that.
At least 8 hours trash pickup. I'll give you 2 months to do that May 28th. That's mandatory. Okay, just have a seat in the audience. The bail can help you just a minute.
Okay, this one's a courtroom audio thing. This might be interesting. Looks like they sentenced this individual to mandatory trash pickup, basically doing the, you know, picking up trash by the side of the highway thing. That's what it sounded like.
Fan.
Good morning, sir. I'm here regarding that matter. I'm here by special appearance to challenge the... Oh, I'd prefer just to stay behind the bar if that would be all right with you.
No, you can't do that. Basically what he's referring to is sovereign citizens, for some reason, I don't know why they believe this, they're wrong, believe that if you stay out behind the... what's it called? He called it the bar, but I think it's called something else. Not the well, because the well's between the defendant table, the prosecutor table, and the bench. Basically, they think if they don't go and sit down at the defendant table, they think that the court doesn't have authority over them. That's untrue. The court has authority over you no matter where you are. You can get warrants out for your arrest no matter where you are. The court has authority. It doesn't matter, so you might as well go sit down at the defendant table where you're supposed to sit. Otherwise, you're going to get potential contempt of court charges, and that's not worth it. Don't do that.
Okay, I'm going to do so while reserving all my rights. Is that be all right with you? I'm entering into these proceedings with the full reservation of my natural, unalienable, and legal rights remaining intact. Is there any objections to that? Okay, let it be noted on the court record there's no objections, and I'm now reserving all of my rights. I'm not Mr. Fleming.
Stop.
Okay, have a seat in the blue chair.
Are you Christopher Fleming?
I'm the authorized representative for that
Are
person.
you Christopher Fleming?
I have a...
Do you want to go into custody for a while?
Can I explain to you the
No.
situation?
Do you want to go into custody?
I have Christopher Fleming
I
right
want to
here.
know your identity. Show your driver's license.
Okay. This is my identity. This is my notarized affidavit of fact for
I don't want to
Christopher
see
Fleming.
that. I want to see your driver's
This is a notarized document, sir. This is a
I want
notarized.
to see your driver's license.
I've changed my name. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Okay, just having... a notary is just a legally authorized witness, right? I could write anything on a document. Like, I could write, oh, this guy's made of tomatoes, and I could sign that document, and I could pay a notary to come and watch me sign that document, and they could verify that I have signed that document. A notary is not there to verify the claims of said document. They are there to be a witness. That way, if whatever contract, it's usually contracts, that way if there's ever dispute about if the contract was actually signed by the signatories, then they can bring in the notary to come say, yes, I saw this person, I saw them sign the paper. A notary signing something, or a notary saying, yes, I saw this be signed, has no bearing on the legal validity of a document. It has to do with, again, witnessing a document being signed, not checking whether or not the actual contents of said document are accurate. So, like, if I went and I got a piece of paper and I wrote, you know, I have legally changed my name to Hannah, which I haven't quite done yet. I have the paperwork. I need to do that very soon, in like the next 3 weeks. Anyway, so if I just, you know, got a piece of paper and I wrote, my name is now Hannah, and I got that notarized, it would mean nothing. I would just have a piece of paper that a notary saw me sign. It doesn't mean anything. There are procedures for name change.
I don't care what you've done. I want to see your driver's license.
Would you please review this document so you can see?
I want to see your...
Sir, I don't have a driver's license. That's what I'm here for. Correct? What is the matter? What is the matter? I don't even understand what the controversy is about regarding this matter.
You're the controversy.
How do you know that I'm the controversy? Are you my accuser? Have I harmed or damaged you, sir? Is there anyone who's come here to claim injury from me?
The first one is for Christopher Fleming, cited March 31st, 2010. It's for not having a permit or license on a motorcycle, driving over a divider in the road.
Okay, sir, I had actually...
Either a plea or somebody did of not guilty.
No, I come and appeared in the court to resolve that matter. And the commissioner or magistrate or whoever it was...
I want you to just have a seat. I need full cases.
Okay, I can just accept your offer. I'm just going to sit.
In the blue chairs,
I'm just going to sit down and wait here
Jeffrey
for you to call the matter again.
Have a seat in the blue
Jeffrey
chairs.
Schwartz.
Okay, just
No.
Hey, last
Sit
time I
down.
was here,
Sit down in the blue chairs.
I just want to let you know, last time I was here,
I don't care last
you had
time.
assaulted me out of the court.
Sit
I don't
down.
consent, all right?
Sit down
Just don't
in
touch
the
me or
blue
put your hands on me, okay?
Have a sit
You
down.
don't have my consent.
Sit down
All right?
in the chairs.
I'm saying sit down.
Have a
I heard you.
seat.
You don't have to repeat yourself. I'm just letting you know, don't put your hands on me again, all right?
The oldest one is from...
No, you can't if you want. I'm asking you not to do that, okay? You understand me? Okay, I'm going to serve you with these documents. Here you go. Don't put your hands on me, okay? If you take me out of this...
Imagine you have some, like, matter to deal with. Like, the guy before this incident started was being sentenced, and he got sentenced to some sort of, you know, community service, trash pickup. Imagine that you're the next person on the docket after this guy, and this guy just pisses off the judge right before the judge has to, like, sentence you. How effed up would that be? Like, oh, gee, thanks for making the judge real upset before he has to make decisions on my case. Don't make the judge mad. Why would you do this?
Courtroom again, I'm going to hold you liable. Do you understand me? No. No, I'm going to sit down on my own will.
Yeah. Did you get the license plate put on?
I didn't. I discovered it finally. It was in the trunk of my car underneath where the
Well, did you get it signed off by an officer?
I haven't gotten it signed. I'll do that today.
All right.
Yeah.
If you plead guilty of that, I'm going to suspend the fine, but you have to pay the late fee. How do you plead to that guilty or not? It could have never been, no demand was ever made, so I can't.
Well, that's because I never.
No, time out. I can't do it. Just that simple. If I could, I would. County seat is denied.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're
You
welcome.
have a blessed day.
You too.
Thank you.
Mr. Fleming?
Mr. Fleming doesn't exist. It's a legal entity, sir. I'm Christopher. My mother named me Christopher. I'm of the Fleming family. I'm authorized to represent that legal entity. I have his birth certificate, or its birth certificate. I have its California identification card, if you'd like to see that. You just made a statement a minute ago that I'm the cause of this controversy. You don't even know who I am. Sir, you don't even know who I am. How do you know that I'm the cause of the controversy?
Because we could all hear you making a spectacle out of this. I think they said, I guess I don't know what he's been brought before the court for. It's probably something stupid like a traffic fine. Why? Why turn this into this?
I want you to answer my question. Please.
You're this close to going into custody.
For what, sir? For asking questions? I don't understand.
Stop talking.
I don't understand, sir.
You understand I just said stop talking?
I hear what you're saying.
Good. Do it.
I understand. Hey, I don't get to say that. Please place your hands. If he wants me to leave, I'll leave. I just don't want you guys to put your hands on me. You know what I'm saying?
That's fine. But just let him talk, and then he'll give you the opportunity to talk.
Last time this guy dragged me out of here, and I just don't want you guys to put your hands on me. You know what I'm saying? I respect you guys. Just give me the same respect.
All right, we'll just follow court rules.
All right, sir. What is your correct name now?
Okay, I'm going to spell it out on court record. It's capital C, lowercase h, lowercase r, lowercase I, lowercase t, lowercase.
Yeah, we know the first letter of a proper noun is capitalized and the rest aren't. You don't have to specify.
O, lowercase p, lowercase h, lowercase r, and then space, all capital A, period, space, capital F, lowercase l, lowercase e, lowercase m, lowercase.
Oh yeah, he does think he needs to specify lowercase. Sovereign citizens, I forgot about this for a sec. Let me explain why he's doing this. Sovereign citizens will sometimes believe that your name is a legal entity in and of itself that exists separate from you, which is why they think in legal documents names will be spelled often in all capital letters, and they think there is a distinction between themselves, the individual whose name is spelled like you would spell a name colloquially, with the capital letter as the first name, capital letter is the first letter of the first name, and then all lowercase letters, and then, you capitalize the first letter of each name. But in legal documents, often they're all capitalized, and they think that this denotes some sort of legal entity with the same name as them, the individual, that is somehow separate. It's not. It's just a formatting thing for legal documents, but they seem to think it's some nefarious trick. It's not.
I, lowercase n, lowercase g, dash, all capital A, lowercase l. It's Christopher A. Fleming L. I'm a free sovereign Moorish American national.
Oh, he's a Moorish American. Beautiful.
I'm the authorized representative for the colorable wardship name, Christopher Elliot Fleming.
After Fleming, what do you have? Dash what?
Dash Al. It was a title of nobility
Dash
that...
what?
A-L.
That will be added as an AKA to your present name of Christopher A. Fleming.
Oh, no, sir. I'm not Christopher A. Fleming.
That's just, we're going under that name plus your AKA.
Okay, is that a defendant?
You're going for both of them. Now, on these sections, apparently you didn't show up for trial.
Well, what happened was I had appeared, and this deputy standing next to me had dragged me out of the courtroom. And then I think the magistrate probably put in entered a plea for Christopher Fleming without my consent. And then I'd sent a registered certified mail to the court and in the form of a compulsory counterclaim and an affidavit of fact, and never received anything.
They have such a boner for certified mail. They think if they certify mail bogus legal documents, and in the legal documents say, like, if you don't respond to me, it means I win. They think that because it's certified mail and they can verify that it was, delivered, that somehow makes it a legal document. It doesn't.
Back from the court, and then I had defaulted the court and asked them to make payments, and then I'd been arrested. I'd been in jail for the last 11 months. So now that I got out, I filed a 41500, according to PC Code 41500, where they dismiss all traffic violations, notices of offenders.
Did you do that while you were in custody?
Yeah, that's why
I don't see anything. Let me look through the docket. Hold on. This goes back to 2010.
Yeah, it's old. It's old. And I wasn't even driving, sir. I was just traveling in a common law highway. And the officer.
On a common law highway? That's not a thing. It's a public highway. A common law highway.
Had pulled me over and attempted to bring me into the jurisdiction. And I like I said, I'm just making a special appearance here. I don't believe this court has jurisdiction over me, the man. So, yes, go ahead. Sir, could I please, would you just review these documents? I think that these are really pertinent.
Christopher?
Mm-hmm.
The only I can do on these, I see nothing coming from you or anyone else under a 41500 request.
Okay, I have copies of it all. Can I bring it in and submit it to you?
I'm just going to reset this for trial. You can do it at that time.
Cool.
We'll reset the court trial. This will be for, let's see, it's a CHP West.
So, sir, I'm assuming that this court does have jurisdiction regarding me in this matter, that I'm the defendant?
Stop.
Am I not allowed to ask questions here, sir? I don't understand.
Court trial is being set for April 22nd, 2013 at 1:30 p.m.
Oh, is this not even like the actual... I think this is just No, it can't be the arraignment, because they already said on a previous date he had put in a plea of not guilty, or someone did in his stead. So it's not the arraignment. They're just setting a court date? Okay.
In this department, you're ordered to be here.
I don't consent to you giving me any order, sir.
That's not how it works.
Or recognize this court's jurisdiction. I don't recognize that this
Department, you're ordered to be here.
I don't consent to you giving me any order, sir. Or recognize this court's jurisdiction. I don't recognize that this matter even involves me whatsoever.
This is from December 3rd, 2010, driving without a license and driving over the 65 speed limit. Do you have a license?
He's about to Legally Blonde this thing. No, because in Legally Blonde, she actually, went to Harvard and did a really good job learning law and became a good lawyer. This guy's just dumb.
License now? If you show me a license, I'll dismiss that charge. Do you have a license now?
Am I obliged to answer your question?
I'm asking you a very simple question. If you have a license now,
Am I
show it, I'll dismiss it.
Am I obliged to answer your question? Am I required to have a California driver's license?
Do you have a license with you now? Do you want to enter a plea of to these charges?
I don't believe that I'm actually the defendant or the accused regarding this matter. Is there someone here who's come to accuse me of damaging or injuring them, or is there a contract that exists?
The court's going to assume by your statement you don't want to enter a plea, so the court's going to do it for you.
I knew it. Beautiful. That's fraud. Are you saying these things with the intent to commit fraud?
Christopher, this is the law in California.
Sir, I'm asking you a direct question. Are you saying these things?
Your mouth is digging you a bigger hole.
I love you. It's nothing personal, sir.
It's like a big steam shovel digging those holes out, and your mouth keeps going, and you just keep digging it deeper.
You work for me, man. I don't work for you. I'm not here to answer your questions, right? You're the one who took the oath.
Mr. Flynn, I suggest you stop.
When even the bailiff is like, that's when you know you fucked up. Oh no.
I need a trial date out of Central.
Contempt. Contempt. Where's my gavel? It's all the way over there. I'm not walking over there to get it. Pretend I have a gavel. Contempt of court.
CHP and it's checking.
Thursday,
It's on the same day.
He hasn't given a date.
Can we put them on the same day, sir?
They're in different places. It's going to be April 25th, 2013 at 1:30 in the afternoon. This is down in C46. It's down in Santa Ana Courthouse. All right, so we'll give these to you in writing.
Cool.
Suggest you hire an attorney before you end up back in the jail.
Can I submit my affidavit? Are you going to take my documents, sir?
No, sir, I don't want to see it.
You're not going to take them? All right, well, I'm going to leave these here with you guys. These are my notarized affidavit of fact and my judicial notice. Well, here you go. I'm serving you, sir. You've been served. Here you go. Matthew M. Frint. I'm handing this to the bailiff now. Let it be reflected on the court record that my affidavit and my judicial notice has been submitted. I don't believe that there's any injured party that has come into this courtroom to claim injury from me, the man. So I'm dismissing this case in the interest of justice, with cause and with prejudice. All right, thank you very much. I love you. Bye.
That's not how anything works. I'm dismissing this case with prejudice. Darn, I didn't know the defendant could just do that.
You like that, Sarge?
Embarrassing.
So what?
I said it was embarrassing for you, but that's about it.
No, last time I got dragged out. That's embarrassing.
That's his standard. It wasn't embarrassing because I wasn't literally dragged out of the courtroom. Beautiful.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, God. I'm gonna assume that when he... Here's what I'm gonna assume happened without any sort of update. Since he thinks that he just dismissed the case, he of course didn't. I'm gonna assume he didn't show up for his court date that was set by the judge. They probably issued a bench warrant and he eventually got picked up for it. Yeah. Don't do this stuff, if I need to say that. Don't talk back to the judge. Don't act like you're in charge of the courtroom. You're not. Don't try and make... broader blanket statement. Get a lawyer. Get a lawyer. Don't ever defend yourself. Why? Why would you think you can do that? It's stupid. Let me see what the bits messages are. Casey Aether, thank you for following. Dudes Spanking Dudes with 20 bits, and a link to a tweet says, we're getting a stimulus check, a whopping $600. Yay, sarcasm. Yikes. Dual EXE with the 100 bits. This guy's the same energy as that guy at my work who gone on leave to apparently get a doctor's note to not wear a mask. And then Dual EXE with 45 more bits. This guy is the same energy as the anti-masker Great Reset guy at work. CA Coroner with 20 bits. What do you mean you aren't showing these videos as a how-to? Yeah.
Okay, this is like take 6. When you go to court on these traffic tickets or anything, the state is often claiming to be the plaintiff. And,
yes, they're allowed to do that.
So anyways, I was up listening to Mark Stevens and putting together some definition of words. And I found... You know, I've known what Mark Stevens saying. I've been telling people the state doesn't exist for years, but
That's just blatantly wrong.
I didn't, I was able to articulate it because it's a corporation, you know. Every state is incorporated, just like the United States of America Corporation.
They're incorporated in the sense that they came to exist as entities, but they are not private for-profit corporations which is an entirely different thing.
Military industrial.
Like a city can become incorporated, and what that means is it becomes part of the greater whole of the area around it, right? Like if your town or village or whatever becomes incorporated, it means it is being recognized as a legal entity by larger organizations in that jurisdiction. Okay? That doesn't mean you are a corporation in the colloquial sense.
Complex owned by the goddamn Brits or whoever, the bankers. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, aside from that, the state has always been a fiction. But how do you prove the state's a fiction? Other than the fact...
I mean, what do you mean the state is a fiction? It's a social construct, but that doesn't make it fictional, right? It's still something that means something and affects our lives. The state is what we call the apparatus of power, in the United States at least, controlled by the constituents via representative democracy, right? And then we have branches of government that have different levers of power, that do all sorts of different things. That's the state, right? It's a social construct, but it's a real thing. It's a definition that it describes material conditions. It's real.
Some douchebag in a suit comes in and says, I represent the state, and then you see, wait a minute, where's the state at then? If there's supposed to be a real party in interest, let me face my accuser.
You are. Someone is representing the state. The prosecutor is representing the state in prosecuting you.
Oh, you can't do that. The state is sovereign. The state has sovereign immunity. You can't sue the state.
You can sue the state. You can sue the United States. You could sue the state you live in. If you live in Michigan, you could sue the state of Michigan. You could sue a city or a county. You can do that. You need to have grounds for doing so, but you can do it.
Well, if you can't sue the state, how's that double standard going to handle the other way around, where the state is suing you? You know, like, if I can't sue somebody else, then how is it they can sue me?
Right, but they're not suing you in the civil sense. They're charging you with a criminal offense, which is a different thing.
They can't. It's fucking bullshit. So aside from that, let's keep going. Let's look at the definition of state, and let's see in our own,
There's nothing funny
with
about
our
the
own
tools of
eyes,
capitalism.
how the state has no jurisdiction or authority over us, because we are not state employees. We are not part of the body politic. Okay? The Supreme Courts have already established the fact that they have no duty to protect us. If we have, like, look at Mark Stevens. He puts it out simply. There is no state. There is no citizen. If there was a citizen, then they would have a duty to protect us. They don't. So we have no duty of allegiance. So let's look at this.
That's not how it works. That's not how it works.
Definition of state is the political system of a body of people who are politically organized. The system of rules by which jurisdiction and authority are exercised over such a body of people. And then it says separation of church and state. Second one. An institution of self-government within a larger political entity, especially one of the constituent parts of a nation having a federal government. And then it gives an example to 50 states. And then 3, often cap, the people of a state, collectively considered as the party wronged by a criminal deed, especially the prosecution as the representative of the people. And then it gives an example. The state rests its case. Okay, so, who is the state now?
The state is the government of whatever thing you're talking about. If you're talking about the federal state here, we're talking about the United States government. If we're talking about an individual state in the Union, then you're talking about the government of that state. There can be representatives of said government. It's not difficult to understand. I mean, if you get down to, like, the philosophical, like, oh, what is the state? Sure, I understand that that's a discussion that could be had, but that's not what you're doing. You're trying to, like, you're trying to philosophize the state out of existence when you can't, because it's just a descriptor of a real thing that we use to organize our lives, right? Like, you can get all, like, esoteric and be like, man, what even is the state, man? But at the end of the day, the state exists, right? It exists. The police exist. The courts exist. The legislative exists. The executive exists. These are people with power and the authority to use that power to enforce laws. That's what makes it real, right? You can't just be like, man, I don't even think the state's real, man. It is. It is. It is whether you want it to or not. You don't have to like it. I'm not telling you that. And if you want to make change, you can. We have electoral politics in this country, and you should be able to go and change things with either spending your time to go and donate your time or money to certain candidates who will represent you and change laws or whatever. That's fine. You can change things. You can dislike the government as it currently stands. I do to certain extents, and I think everyone has things that they'd like to change about the government and the way society functions as a whole. But you don't get to just wish it out of existence because you don't like it. That's not how it works.
The state is a political system of a body of people who are politically organized. Is that you?
That's the government. You're describing the government.
Are you a state employee?
You don't have to be an employee to have the authority of the state apply to you. The state has authority over defined areas that they have, right? In the United States, it would be in any of the 50 states or territories of the United States. You're a citizen, or if you're just in the landmass, you don't even have to be a citizen. You could be visiting or whatever. The law applies to you, and that's the same everywhere on Earth. Wherever you are, there's probably a local government of some type, whether it's, you know, a government like the United States, or if it's a small local government, or if it's a warlord. It doesn't matter. Wherever you are, there's probably someone enforcing some sort of rules. Not all of those rules are just, not all of those rules are fair, but they are what they are, right? Again, you don't have to like something to recognize that it exists.
Are you politically organized with the state? The state is this body of people. So that reminds me, going back to the Constitution. It said, you go back to the Constitution says, we the people. So who are the people? It's them, not us. That's where separation of church and state comes from. We, public people, we're not public. We're not part of their system. We're not political. We're not a P. We are people who are free and separate from the state. That is a fiction. It's a fiction to us. So that
it's not a fiction. It's a descriptor of real things.
That would leave us to be church in this example.
What? No, people aren't church. Church is religion. Church is the Christian church, the Catholic church, Protestant churches. In the Constitution, they put the separation there so you couldn't, like, have a state-imposed religion, and also the state couldn't, like, you know, infringe on the rights of people to practice whatever religion they want. That's a good thing. People are not the church. What are you talking about?
Separation of church and state. State is them. Bar associates. Politicians. Anybody politically organized. We are not politically organized. We are slaves. We are church. So how do they pull us in? They get us to enter into social contract. What is a social contract? Social contract, page 699.
The social what? Page 690. There's not, I mean, there might be some document out there or a paper or a book called the social contract. I'm almost certain there is. But, like, when we're talking about the social contract, colloquially, we don't literally mean something that you can go and cite. We mean, you know, the idea that there's these agreements in society, right? The agreements being, hey, like, we will respect your rights as long as you also respect the fact that you have responsibilities. Those responsibilities being things like, I will obey the law. If you break that social contract and break the law, then the government can come to you and be like, okay, we're putting you in jail. It's going to take away a lot of the things that we deem freedoms, your rights, but you broke your end of the social contract, therefore we're going to put you away. It's not like a literal thing. The social contract isn't a literal document you sign. It's just a descriptor of social forces that we apply to one another in society.
The express or implied agreement between citizens and their government by which individuals agree to surrender certain freedoms. It does not say rights. I'll show you where the rights come from. Are you ready? In exchange for mutual protection. Oh, wait a minute. What protection? You mean the protection that the Supreme Court has already ruled they have no obligation to give us? Oh, man. This is an agreement forming the foundation of a political society. Now, we've already talked about what a political society is. The political society is the state. The people of the state are politically organized. They have a system of rules by which their jurisdiction and authority are exercised over themselves, because they are an institution of self-government. Get it? Now, where do these civil rights arguments come from? Well, it comes from being a citizen. How can you be a citizen if you are not getting mutual protection? I have no idea. Anyways.
The idea that, like, citizenship requires the government to inherently protect you is odd, and I don't know where he's getting that from. Like, don't get me wrong, I think American society should be based upon the idea that there's a give and take between the state and the people, right? Like, it would be great if the police would, you know, actually protect you and not infringe on your rights. Unfortunately, we have a lot of problems in regard to policing in the United States, but I understand the ideal of, like, okay, the government will protect you, and in turn you will pay taxes and obey laws and all that sort of stuff. Sure, understandable. But, like, that's not the definition of a state or a citizen, right? It doesn't involve necessitating the state protect you. It usually involves that because the state wants citizens to survive, because without citizens, what kind of state do you have? But, like, there have been all sorts of states throughout human history that don't really give a shit about the individual in terms of protecting them. They might care about the population as a whole, because, again, if your population dies out because of war or something, then you don't really have a state anymore, do you? But, like, protecting individual rights is not a necessity for something to be considered a state. Like, North Korea is still a state, even though obviously human rights are at the bottom of the list for things they give a shit about. So, I don't understand this tying of, like, caring about protection of the citizens and human rights to the idea of being a citizen of a state. I don't get where that's coming from.
The citizen is a person who, by either birth or naturalization, is a member of a political community. Or society, maybe? I added that in there, it's a question. Owing allegiance to the community and being entitled to enjoy all its civil rights. Look at that, that's hilarious. It doesn't say freedoms, it says civil rights. They just took your freedoms in the social contract and turned them into civil rights. And protections that we have established by the Supreme Court. We do not have a member of the civil state entitled to all its privileges. Okay, so if we don't have, if they're not obligated to protect us, we have no obligation to an allegiance. So we don't actually have a good social contract, because we're supposed to give up our freedoms to them in exchange for protection, but they're not obligated to give us protection, so that social contract is now a void contract. It has no standing because there's no consideration.
Again, I think he's citing a specific case. I don't remember the specifics. But it's something along the lines of, like, the police don't necessarily have a duty to protect individual citizens. It's their job to uphold the law, right? Meaning, I think something along the lines of, like, it's the police's job to arrest criminals and stop crime. It's not necessarily the job of the police, if there's a shootout, to save individuals in that shootout, right? They're not going to get in trouble if, there's a child in the line of fire and they don't jump in front of them. Something like that. And I agree. I think ideally we would like people who are supposed to enforce the law to have the ideal of protecting the citizenry, but that's not the only way the government protects citizens. I would argue, again, this is depending on the law, because I think there are plenty of laws that are unjust, and our judicial system also is pretty messed up. It's why we have the highest incarceration rate in the world. It's pretty messed up. But, like, the government stopping crime, the government having police, at least theoretically, stop crime generally being considered a bad thing, is protecting the citizenry. Again, let me reiterate, not all the time. Like nonviolent drug offenses. That's stupid and a waste of time and money for everyone involved. But, like, let's say there's a serial killer out and about, or someone who's committing larceny all over the place and they're stealing stuff. If the police are out searching for that person, they are protecting you as a citizen by stopping someone in for society from infringing on your rights, right? Your right to your property. Your right to, like, not have bodily harm perpetrated upon you. Your right to life, if we're talking about the serial killer thing. We have a military, and again, I will reiterate, I think our military budget is too big and we spend too much money on it. But that military is a function of the government protecting its citizenry from outside force, whatever. Like, this idea that the state in no way takes any action to protect citizenry is flawed at best and doesn't really consider, all the things that society does. I don't know.
Okay, so there's no meeting of the minds. Okay, so the citizen no longer exists, which means the political community or political society doesn't exist, which means the state doesn't exist. Thank you, Mark Stevens. You have really pushed this home for the people. Okay, check this out, man. Do you get it yet, people? These people can only govern themselves. They cannot govern you at all, whatsoever.
Untrue. The government is sovereign. It has authority over you because they can back that authority up with force. And again, that's sad in some ways, but also it's kind of how society works, right? The government has authority over you because if you don't obey the law, then cops will come and arrest you. They can back their authority up with force. That's kind of where sovereignty and, like, authority come from. Don't get me wrong, we also have the philosophical discussion of, like, oh, the consent of the governed is a huge part of the authority of the state. And I would agree, but practically speaking, outside of the philosophical and the fact that if a government behaves in certain ways that aggrieve the populace, then the populace might rise up and replace said government. Outside of that, the government has authority because they can back up that authority. It's very simple. You can't philosophize your way out of that truth.
It is an absolute fiction. If anybody has an issue with you, they need to stand up on their own claim in an actual court of law, not a fraudulent one, you know what I'm saying? If you were damaged, if you suffered, if I violated you have a claim against. You come to me, you injured me. Are you going to redress this injury, or am I going to have to take it up somewhere else, to the people? That's what the grand jury was supposed to be for. It's supposed to be you go into the grand jury with your evidence saying, so-and-so injured me. And then I would be there too, and I'd be saying, no, I didn't, and here's my proof. And then the grand jury decides. That's why the Fifth Amendment was so important to the people back in the day, because the grand jury was there to make sure there's actual jurisdiction going on here. And that's why these state fictions, these faggots in fucking suits pretend to be something they're not, and they bypass the grand jury. And they just do what they want. They just pretend they have jurisdiction and authority over you. Right? But they don't. And they can't prove they do, because you have to be a state employee. they require you to be a state employee. You have to be socially contracted. You have to give up your freedoms in exchange for protection, but they don't
Untrue.
protect you. Let's go over it again, people. The citizen is a part of a political community, owing allegiance to the community and being entitled to enjoy all its civil rights and protections. But there is no protections, which means there's no civil rights, which means there's no social contract and privileges. But you're playing along. Why are you playing along? I don't know. You're stupid. So was I. I've been stupid for a long time.
We could agree on that much.
Everybody says, man, it's getting to where this. I mean, if we start protecting each other, we create our own society, our own political unit where we protect ourselves.
I'm gonna start my own society with blackjack and hookers.
Like the gangsters are talking about. The G code. It's not the. It's the grown man code. Be a grown man, a grown woman. Take care of each other. Stop being drama queens and calling these.
Jesus. What's wrong with these people? Seriously. If you haven't already, give my YouTube channel a sub. It's a good time. I put all my streams there and my stream highlights. So I heard Antipodian Squid is doing a charity stream. So we're going to raid. Thanks everyone for coming to the stream. It was a lot of fun. I will be back tomorrow with Chud Watch, I think. So come back for that around 4 or so. That'll be fun. Not sure what we'll be covering yet. I'm going to have to go through my list of chuds and see what new stuff we got. I'm sure we'll find some interesting stuff to take a look at. Oh, I missed some of these. Sorry. He wants to be oppressed so bad. Late to the party, but Hannah, that scarf is darling. How do these guys always muster so much confidence for their BS? Good question. Right said Rob. Thank you for resubscribing. Are all sovereign citizens just people who can't understand that not everything is meant to be literally, like that guy from Guardians of the Galaxy? Maybe. Some of these sovereign cit manifestos read like the teacher speaking in the Charlie Brown cartoon special. Wah, 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 wah. Yeah. Dooley XE says, are there interviews with these people from prison? I've not seen any, although that would be interesting. So everyone have a good night. Chat's valid, as always. Hope you have a wonderful evening. Good night, everyone.